Welcome back to episode 260 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
I'm kneeling at my desk with a magnifying glass, inspecting every corner, don't let a flaw pass. A tiny imperfection could cost me my dreams. Under the light each surface gleams. Measure the edges, wipe the dust, hoping these treasures are pristine and just. Each card a relic, each corner divine. I'm chasing perfection, that PSA 10 shine. Graded by the PSA gods, will they see the beauty that I saw? Every card's my baby, my pride, my soul. Will they come back perfect? Will they make me whole? Pack them all up, bubble wrap in place. I kissed that box like it was heaven's grace. Off to the graders, they've gone away. Now the waiting game, it's my dues to pay. Oh, the days drag on and the nights grow long. In my head I hear a grating song. Gem mint, or a brutal late. Will they love my cards or seal their fate? The notification came, my heart skipped a beat. I stared at my phone but couldn't take the heat. Do I open the email? Can I face the truth? I'm scared they'll crush my card collecting youth. The first one's a 7, I let out a cry. The second's an 8, oh my God, why? I worked so hard, I gave them my best, but these grades feel like daggers in my chest. I start to lose hope, I'm breaking apart. This cruel grading game is crushing my heart. But then a glimmer, a shining ray, a perfect 10 to brighten my day. Graded by the PSA gods, they've seen the beauty that I saw. My final cards came roaring back, all perfect 10s. I'm on the attack. A 10 for Gretzky, a 10 for McDavid. Even my OV rookies perfectly graded. I dance around the room with my PSA slabs. This is redemption, my glorious grab. Oh, the highs and the lows of this grading ride, but those 10s made it all worth the nights I cried. For every collector, this tale is true. We live for the greats, and the greats pull us through. Graded by the PSA gods, it's the beauty I saw.
Hey, boys.
Wow.
Hey.
Rock opera, eh? Amazing.
Yeah, I had Paradise by the Dashboard Lights in my head for a whole day. And I'm like, I want to do a rock opera song. Like, but in any rock opera, right, you need highs and lows. And then it made me think of the whole process of sending cards into grading, right?
Accurate.
Is that
Accurate,
yeah.
yes.
It's a total roller coaster.
That's a classic. We're going to have to put out an album soon.
Oh, maybe. Think
Maybe.
about tour? What would we do? We'd be like one of those like EDM DJs. We just hit like play and
Oh, we need some pretty girls though. We're not. I think we're gonna sell tickets.
maybe we'll get hired at the expo to DJ one of like the big trade nights or something like that.
Oh, that would be fun. Louis, you got to bring your Speedo like last time.
On it.
All right. Well, yesterday was a big day, Phil, for you. How Hasselhoff, your boy, 17. Tell us all about that.
It's my boy Blue. My boy's gonna play in the big leagues. Yeah, we had a great day. My son is so amazing. He woke up at 6. I heard his door open at 6 a.m. yesterday. I was like, what is he doing up on his own birthday? Jumps in the shower. I'm like, what the heck's going on? He got me a Christmas present that I have not yet received before yesterday. The guy that makes these behind me, Brothers Woodcraft, if you look on my Instagram, he makes this stuff behind me. So Hasselhoff decided to message him before Christmas and get me a sign that said Loud Collector. Unfortunately, this gentleman lives about an hour, 2 to 3 hour bus ride away. If you're a 16-year-old boy or 17-year-old on the day, Nicole had to get up that early because we had plans to go out for dinner. And unbeknownst to him, I surprised him with Maple Leaf tickets. And yeah, we did that. So let me show.
Yep.
This is what he got. Not bad.
Wait, so all those signs behind you are wood?
Yeah, they're all wood.
Wow.
Crazy, eh?
Now,
Yeah,
what kid on his birthday gets up early on his own birthday?
Yeah.
In a moment of, or in the spirit of giving, to go and ride hours of bus to get his dad a gift. It's like, would part of you kind of think when you got back, it's like, geez, I wish I would have just drove you?
No, I wasn't feeling well. I needed to be. I knew I had to. I think little adventures and journeys like that are good for him because he's never done that before. So it's three buses and a train. Good. Go on a trip. He's strong. He knows how to hold his own. He's confident young man. Go out in the world a little bit, right? And I am proud he did that. But yes, of course, I want to do everything for him. That's not the way. Yeah, so I'm very proud of him for doing that. We went out for dinner with his mom. Hasselhoff has a mom. And we're not together. We haven't been for 16 years. So we're very good friends. And he also has a little sister. And we went to the blue team game and we won. And I don't really have anything else to say good about that.
Well, here, I got something for the little guy for his birthday here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was goofing around a little bit today.
Aww.
Are you creeping at through Phil's photo albums, or what?
Yeah. Oh, he's the best, man. I love the Hasselhoff. The Hoff. He's great, eh, boys?
Yeah. Don't think I didn't notice your Freudian slip though. You said I got him Leafs tickets. That's kind of interesting.
I'm still rocking the 70% out of. I'm a lot better than Friday, I'll tell you that. I'm not shaky and I'm not malnutritioned. Friday was horrible. Do you see how pale I look on the video? That's terrible.
No, you're not malnutrition. See, I put the photo in there of him bringing you some cake in bed.
No, that's him eating dinner in front of me and hovering around me like everybody else in my life. Just hover everywhere. Yeah. But he's excited today. Big Bills game, and he's a huge Bills fan. So, I don't know. He might be in a really bad mood today or in a great mood.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, I forgot.
You'll see when we're done recording, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
You have a good weekend, Louis?
Yeah, I did. Hey, we went to a card show.
Yeah, we did. That was kind of fun.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was twice as packed as it was last month. This card show just started. Is this the third one or?
I was going to say second, but you might be right. It might be the third.
Okay. Well, it might only be the second too, but yeah, it was cars in the road this time. Packed. I don't know if you could squeeze another table into this place. It was awesome to see. And we had a good time.
Was it a sausage fest or were there ladies there?
Oh, yeah.
Phil, it's sports cards. It was actually almost no Pokemon, which was weird. It was all sports cards.
I believe the term is TCG, Joshua.
TCG.
Okay,
so
there wasn't much of that there.
They hold it at this multi-purpose batting cage, golf simulator. They make jerseys for a lot of the local sports teams at this place called GA or CA. What is it? GA or CA?
Sounds smelly.
And on the upstairs part where they have the golf simulators, they have this little bar area, but there's no traditional bar, Phil. And you worked in the bar and liquor industry for a long time.
Service industry, 19 years.
They had a row, this big long line of self taps.
15.
Where you pay by the ounce. So it just records.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. I've never seen that before.
Put the bartenders out of business. They need to grow up anyways.
Replaced by robots, right?
But am I?
That's the whole thing. All right, we got a huge show. We should probably get going.
Sure.
Before we do, though, got to remind everyone, and you, Louie, that the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a Patreon podcast. That means we rely on the support of listeners and watchers like yourself to help us cover show expenses, continue to produce more and what we hope to be better hockey card content, and then fund initiatives to grow the hobby. You can support us for as little as $5 US a month. Join our $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. You get access to our Discord, other kind of fun stuff that we do, challenges and games and fantasy, so on and so forth. If you want to support us, you can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, and just search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description, both YouTube and the podcast apps. And then finally in our Instagram and TikTok profile as well. Oh yeah, last thing. If you've already become a patron and you're not in Discord, maybe the link didn't work, the invite link, or you just didn't get around to it, but message us. So we want to get you in.
Holla.
Louie.
Yo.
We have one new patron since our last show.
Yeah.
1583 Stitchworks. Wonder what the meaning is behind that.
Well, isn't it obvious? He's done 1,583 Stitchworks.
Well, I get what you're saying, but if he does any more, he has to change his name, and then if he does any more after that, that's a lot of name changes on Instagram.
Maybe that's how many stitches a hockey jersey requires.
Yeah, send us a meeting. I want to know what the scoop is there. All right, Baba Louie, let's do the game plan.
Let's do the game plan. So for today, gentlemen, and everybody out there in Listenerville, it's get to know your Hall of Famers. Then we're going to go to Who's Hot and the Struggle Bus. After that, it's some hobby news, followed by Confessions of a Card Dealer. Sylvain is back. Then it's the Columbus Blue Jackets Hobby Mount Rushmore. Then we're on to some juicy upcoming product reveals. Then it's the lengthy Gongshow Mailbag. And some personal pickups.
Yeah, big mailbag today. Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to continue our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series today and are ready to start with the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 1952. So we've now completed the first three Hall of Fame classes, 1945, 1947, and 1950. And of course, in this series, we are profiling every single Hockey Hall of Famer. We look at their life, career, achievements, and hobby markets. This one is actually kind of wild. So I'm really looking forward to getting your guys' reaction to the first player from the 1952 Hall of Fame class that we're going to learn about today is Dickie Boon. I don't get it. What's so funny?
Why is it?
Why are you guys laughing?
Give a warning, brother.
Someone passed gas or something?
No, I
Did
don't
gas?
know. Is he related to Dick Monalds? I mean, I don't know.
All right, children.
Okay.
Let's dig into Dickie Boon. Richard Robinson Dickie Boon lived from 1878 until 1961, so nice long life of 83 years. It makes him almost old enough to be president of the United States. Anywho, yeah, well, it's a joke because our presidents are always so old here. Dickie's hockey career lasted from 1899 until 1906. During that span, he played for the Montreal Wanderers and the Montreal Hockey Club. Boon was Canadian, born in Belleville, Ontario. Where's that, Phil?
Oh, that's only 2.5 hours away from me. That's great. That's the Sens home farm team. Sorry, Belleville Senators.
Okay. Growing up, Dickie was a gifted athlete and excelled in rowing and canoeing. Now, Louie, you love any sort of team. Do you have a couple favorite canoeing squads you follow, or what?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, might want to check into that.
I'm good. Only during the Olympics.
All right.
You guys know who Silken Lallman is?
What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
That's not real. Dickie was also a talented speed skater in his youth, winning the very prestigious 1892 Junior Amateur Championship. And I mentioned a few seconds ago that Boon was a defenseman. I think I did. So he'd make our boy Shimmy Shakes in Montreal look huge. Boon was only 5 feet 5 inches and played at 130 pounds. Teeny tiny.
130.
Yeah.
They didn't need food back then? What's the matter with him?
I don't know. Despite him being smaller, he was an incredibly effective player and team leader. He would captain the Montreal Hockey Club to 2 Stanley Cups in 1902 and 1903. And apparently a number of the players, not just Boone, from those Stanley Cup teams were small in stature to the point where the teams had the nickname Little Men of Iron.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dickie would leave the Montreal Hockey Club in 1903 to found the Montreal Wanderers and would play with them until 1905. At that point, though, professionalism was taking root in hockey, and Boone dropped out of playing hockey after objections of his parents to him becoming a professional. Mom and Dad did not want him to be a professional hockey player. It's so wild that being a professional is considered a bad thing. It's
I want
hard to wrap your head around that.
I want to talk about that more. That's just, it's such a culture shift. Obviously, the norm, well, not obviously, but it seems apparent that the norm back then, there was more pride and nobility in being an amateur. And did professional sports, like, you're a sellout? Is that like, you expect?
No, I think that like money in sports had its roots in gambling, and that was considered like lower class, right? Yeah. So getting paid to do any sport was not, considered to be honorable in by some people, I guess.
I guess the phrase, if you're good at something, get paid for it, wasn't.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
Kobe.
No.
Kobe.
What's Kobe thing? So at that point, instead he turned to management. So, and here's another distinction I don't get. So he couldn't play, but he ended up managing the Wanderers to 4 additional Stanley Cup titles in 1906, 1907, 08, and 1910. And remember, this was the challenge period of the Stanley Cup. And although Boone was a multiple winner, both as a player and coach, he was not happy with the Cup challenges interfering in the season of play. In 1903, he was quoted as saying, "The Cup is far from beneficial to the game. It's detrimental."
Oh,
that didn't age well, did it?
No, not very well. Yeah.
No. In 1910, Boone was instrumental in setting up the National Hockey Association, which of course is the precursor to the NHL. So in a way, he was not just as a player, but as a manager and executive. He, kind of had his hands all over the early stages of hockey. Why should you care about Dickie Boon? Well, Boone is credited with being one of the first to formalize and implement positional play in hockey. He emphasized strategy and organization, moving away from the chaotic, individualistic style that characterized early hockey. Kind of makes me think of, we all grew up on the outdoor rink, right? You go and there'd be the pickup games where it's just whoever was the best skater dominated the puck sort of deal. I wonder if that was more what hockey was like in the late 1800s, early 1900s. As a defenseman, Boone revolutionized how the position was played, focusing on anticipation, positioning, and teamwork. He's credited with being the first player to use the poke check, which he used to great success in stopping opposing forwards. It probably had something to do with his size, I would guess, too. After his playing career, Boone transitioned from coaching and continued to influence the game by developing younger players and refining team tactics. In looking at the Boone hobby market, here we have yet another player whose career predated the first hockey card set, the 1910 C56 set. So what does that mean, Phil? What are we going to talk about?
What do I think you're going to say?
Yeah.
The our favorite set, right? I can't spell it. It's the Philomena? The Philomena set?
Yeah. No, normally, yes. You would normally be spot on, but not in this case.
No.
No surprise for all you massive Dickie fans out there, right, Bob Balloon?
Yeah.
Massive Dickie fan. In 1960-61, Topps, in their hockey product, produced an insert set of all-time greats that does feature a Dickie Boon card.
Ooh.
And this KSA 8.5 graded copy is the highest seller to date, sold for $125 US this past November 8th.
He looks like a saint. Saint Boone.
Saint Boone.
Basilica.
And then of course, Phil, there is the 1985 Cardophilium Dickie Boone card 2, which you can get for like $1.
Yeah.
It's a little older in this
horror movie at you,
yeah. And that, good listener, is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Dickie Boon.
Good job, Josh.
Thanks.
I learned that men were little back then, and No, I don't know. Some men were, and they got cool nicknames.
Everybody had a nickname.
Yeah.
We don't roll like that anymore.
Oh, I have
Oh,
nicknames.
Baba Louie has a nickname.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phil, you have nicknames. We just can't say them on air. But okay.
Yeah, that's true. And I have nicknames. I just don't tell you.
You do?
No,
What
I
do
don't.
you-
Well, I call you the captain. I like that.
Captain A-hole, probably. Okay, we're at
No.
week 16 already for Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus, where we throw some flowers and players who are crushing it over the past couple weeks. Then we throw shame players who are not crushing it and
Yeah.
earn their way into the Struggle Bus. We're going to go right to the Struggle Bus and put Phil on there because Phil forgot to do this.
I didn't. I'm ready.
Honesty, Phil.
I'm ready now, but I was not ready.
We're
before.
not ready now. You want to explain yourself? You want to tell the audience about what happened? Or
I forgot.
okay.
Yeah. It's my least favorite segment, and I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like
Because it takes
intentional?
work.
No, because it doesn't. I do it different than you guys. Like I try to think of a player, and then I go see if he's doing good or not, and then he's not. It just takes me too long. I'm not efficient with the way to do it, right?
Okay.
Like,
Because I don't
like
want to pick the
cracking
same
slabs.
15 people all the time, man.
We don't.
You know,
We pick different people. Well,
yeah, I
after
don't
the show,
know.
you can meet Baba Louie individually in his office, and he'll
Okay.
scold you and put you on a plan to improve your performance. That's
All
the way
right,
we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start with Who's Hot. And this week, I was with someone we haven't talked about, Phil. So it isn't the same 15 people. One of your favorites, I know, Clayton Keller, Utah captain. Clayton Keller has 3 goals, 9 assists for 12 points over the last 6 games played. This is not a mass show, of course, but that is 2 points per game, which is pretty good, I'd say. On the season, the 26-year-old Keller now has 17 goals, 36 assists for 53 points in 47 games played. That gives him an 82-game pace for 24-25 of 30 goals and 92 points. If he can get there, 92 points would be a career high for Keller. And seeing him near the top of the NHL scoring leaders got me wondering about his hobby market a little bit. And if the move from Utah, so given now he was named captain, who knows how much of a hobby market anyone from Arizona had, or the Coyotes had when they were in Arizona. And you have this whole new crop of excited fans that are welcoming a new team and presumably, right, want to chase new players. Had that had any effect? So I did a little research. If you go back to the start of not this season, but last season, so the last season that the Coyotes were in Arizona, through essentially January 24th, 2024, 540 Keller cards had sold in the secondary markets. Now, comparing that to the start of this season through a couple days ago, January 24th of this month, 1,218 Keller cards sold in the secondary
Wow.
market. So more than doubled from his last season with the Yotes to this season in Utah.
Holy moly.
It appears to be a fan favorite there.
Yeah.
I mean, still, it's not a ton of cards, but
Well,
like
That's a huge.
let's take a
jump,
look
man.
at the colors of the cards is a lot better. So that's a good start.
sure.
Yeah.
Their uniform colors are awesome. They
Yeah.
they knocked it out of the park.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I like those jerseys. I'm more and more leaning towards just keep it at Utah Hockey Club.
Mhm.
Clayton Keller is a 2017-18 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 169, 40% gem rate, last sold for $99 on January 23rd. It was the first sale since November 21st, so it's down about 10% from that point. 169 pop, and that's low. Holy cow.
So
Baba
really,
Louie.
what do you guys think of that
Oh,
card?
go ahead.
Is it aesthetically pleasing to you?
I like that young gun here.
You do?
you do.
Oh, that's one of not my no. I disagree. I don't
Really?
like it.
But
Yeah.
no, it's not for you.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
it's not-
me, so if I'm speaking from the first person, I think that should be understood. Yeah.
Can you speak from the fourth person about
Yeah.
the third person who?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me ask him 1 sec. What's that? Yeah. Okay. He says it's cool.
I've seen worse. Not my favorite, but it's not bad. I think you know what? I think it looks worse because of
The jersey.
the jersey.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, it could be the picture too, but I don't like the different fonts, right? Like you have like robotic writing with cursive. I get it. It's
Yeah.
cool. Probably look better on the computer.
Uh,
That's what
Baba
Billy
Louie.
always says.
anywho,
Who did you pick?
believe it or not, Jason Robertson he's been on a little bit of a tear here in the last 5
Mhm.
games. He's put up 5 goals, 3 assists for 8 points. And I decided to go back a little farther just to see how long this run has been going. In his last 20 games, he's in a tie for 9th with points at 26, and he has 10 goals and 16 helpers total in that 20. So, he hadn't been much of a factor in the beginning months of the season. If you guys remember, he had 6 points in the month of October and 1 point in all of December. So, I was reading an article, and I found a little note in there on the interweb because it was a comparison between J-Rob and the NHL's leading scorer among American-born players, Mike Modano. And Bill, just in case you want to say anything, I brought up U.S.-born players, and I don't see one guy's name on there. So,
okay.
I'm just gonna,
Controversial.
Yeah.
Hobby drama.
Yeah. So in this article, though, I thought it was cool. It shows that in the first 3 years, J-Rob has 234 points, 104 goals, and 130 assists in 210 games. If I didn't say it, that was his first 3 seasons. That's more than Modano, who had 216 points in 235 games. So for whatever reason, they were comparing the first 3 seasons between the two guys here, and I made a little graphic if you're watching to see that. But I thought it was interesting.
Nice.
Anywho, on the season, J-Rob sits at 17 goals, 28 assists for 45 points in 49 games. He is a 2020-21 Young Guns with a PSA 10 pop of 1,552 and a gem rate of 37.5%. The card last sold January 24th for $80.
No hobby love.
No hobby love.
Right.
Well, there's something weird with him. You know, the Sean Shapiro from the Late Game, who's the NHL writer, been on our show. I subscribed to his Substack, and he was, I think, at a time, a Dallas beat writer. And apparently, who's the big Canadian hockey podcaster?
Well, there's a few of them.
Steve Dangle, right? Is that sound?
Yeah, I wouldn't have started that thought with who's the big media broadcaster, Steve Dangle.
I said Canadian podcaster.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry, you triggered.
You're not a fan?
He's
I don't know him. I've never listened to him.
He's kind of like me, but worse. No, I don't. I'm not a big fan of Steve Dangle. He's an obnoxious Leaf fan.
Well, one of his producers, something like that, kind of went off on J-Rob as being like difficult and
really
not a positive locker room guy. And so
what?
Shapiro was defending him a little bit, but there has always been stuff like the last couple of years about questioning his toughness, or there's just something that is off about the situation. I have no idea what it is, but his talent does not equate to the amount of like respect or love that he seems to get.
That's great. He's Filipino, isn't he? I have lots of Filipino friends. They're literally the nicest people on the planet. I know I'm like stereotyping here, but I mean, he looks like a nice guy. I don't know him. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, and just to finish this up, card has been down 22% in the last 3 months, but it's making a little bit of a comeback. It's gained 9% in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right, Phil, who did you pick for who's on?
Well, I shall present who Josh suggested would be a good pick. And this player, Carolina was able to keep him in the Rantanen deal. So you'd have to think that the Avalanche really wanted Seth Jarvis. In the past 2 weeks, Seth Jarvis has had 6 goals and 2 assists for 8 points in his last 7 games. He's only a little baby. He's only 22 years old. And on this season, Jarvis has been playing pretty good. 18 goals, 20 assists, 38 points in 43 games. Not bad. Almost a point per game. He's currently on the Canes. It is. There you go. He's currently on the Canes' third line with Stahl and Matnook, but he's getting first power play unit time, which is an interesting.
Weird. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Anywho, my brain broke on that one. Seth Jarvis is a 2021 Young Guns with a PSA 10 pop count of 459 and a 60% gem rate. Not bad. Last sold for $55 American on January 21st, and it's been pretty flat this past month. So there's Josh's pick, and I shall present it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And with
for
that,
the record, I
Even
picked
though
my
he
struggle
didn't
bus.
pick it.
I picked my
Yeah.
struggle bus.
You did. And you are on the struggle bus. So we're just going to go right into it. So Phil, for forgetting who's out in the struggle bus, and then for dropping the swear word, then now me and Louie have to edit out.
Is that really anyway? Okay.
I completely missed it.
Yeah, because it's so normal. It's so normal. But
For your potty mouth, it is normal. But
yeah, okay,
we are in a civilized society.
Yeah, smart people swear, dude. They do. Intelligent people swear, and people that snoot their noses at people that swear can snoot away. I'm done with them. Okay, here we go. Let's stay on track.
Are you done lecturing all the little children that we know watch our show now?
I was lecturing you, Josh. Anyways, they're probably like,
all right.
Oh. Okay. So
the struggle bus. Yeah, we got some interesting picks this month. Not the snuggle bus, the struggle bus.
Oh.
Who wants the snuggle?
Oh, the snuggle bus.
Leo Carlsson. Over his past 6 games played, the 20-year-old Swede Carlsson has 1 goal and 0 assists, giving him that's a 1 point. Giving him the season 9 goals, 7 assists for 16 points in 42 games played. He's kind of either close to or slightly behind last season's pace, which was 12 goals, 17 assists, 29 points in 55 games.
Here's it.
Yeah. Now, we know it's all fun and games when Flagship comes out and we get all gaga and excited over these names. Right? We're, Leo Carlsson. Oh, Logan Cooley. Betsy. Right?
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah. It's less fun, though, a year later when they have 9 goals 2/3 of the way through the season. Right?
And you're sitting on over 400 young guns of these guys. No kidding. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
And, so I think the thing we have to remember is that most of the big rookie chases end up closer to where we're currently sitting with Leo Carlsson than superstars, right? There's only a few superstars in the league. And in reading up about Carlsson's development, there seems to be a mix of continued optimism with some concerns sprinkled in, I guess. Been criticism on Anaheim over the line combinations and who they're pairing him with, whether those players don't complement his skill set. I don't love that, though, because I think if you're a really good player, they'll put you with anyone and you'll make them better, right? If your teammates need to make you better, you're probably not that good. You guys agree with that?
Though, man. If you're a sieve, or like if you're over the hill and you're an old veteran and you just can't keep up. No, I there's outliers, but I generally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't. It's easy to say because they're professional players, but when I was playing, we had lines that were better than others together because we knew where everybody was going to be. And then you get on another line and, you throw the puck in a spot where, he's not trailing me up the boards or, I drop the puck and then look like an idiot. I turn it over, so I'll give it. Yeah, probably could be a line thing, but I just don't like the way they use that in a lot of professional sports. If you're good, you're good.
Josh just used that. They don't use that in professional sports. They use that in podcasts now.
Oh.
Ooh.
Dang.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
If I can find my mouse.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Sorry, I was late on that. I'm on the struggle bus. Okay. And of course, injuries have played a little bit of a part in this too. He's injured like in November, I think. And you got to give the standard disclaimer. He's 20 years old. There's, of course, a fair amount of runway left. But I would assume if I was a Ducks fan, I would have hoped to see more by this point this year from my boy Leo Carlsson. It was a 2023-24 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 1,976. 49% jam rate last sold for $62 on January 23rd. It's been flat over the past month or so. Now, before the season, when there's a little more hype and excitement, it's about $90. So it's lost about a third of its value since then.
That could be worse.
Yeah.
Who are you putting on the struggle bus?
Well, we're gonna go with Mr. Owen Power from the Buffalo Sabres. So January hasn't been such a fun month for this 22-year-old. The number 1 pick in the 2021 draft, and thankfully for him, he's still a favorite among the Sabres faithful, but been kind of a lackluster on ice performance. He's struggled with just 1 goal, 2 assists, and 3 points in 11 outings so far this month. And from what I've seen, because I've seen a handful of their games, I'd say January has been probably the worst hockey I've seen him play his whole career. It's been bad.
Wow.
One issue for me, I think that needs work is closing the gap on players during zone entry. And, there's too much room for attackers to move around him. It doesn't allow him to use his body to push players to the outside and then have a chance to remove them from the puck, along the wall, creating turnovers. I'll give him credit. Now, getting the puck out of the zone is a critical part of the game for a defenseman, and he is among the top defenders getting this job done. His retrieval percentage, believe it or not, there is a stat for that. I was looking that stuff up earlier today, is at the top while defending off, checking forwards, and he has good ability to shield the puck off and get it out of the zone. Watching him, though, he's a lot better if he can skate the puck out of the zone than try to force the puck out. Half the time, that creates something up the middle, or he'll throw it off the glass, and then it just turns into a turnover and a dump in again. And it's just a lot of round and round and round and round, which I think is part of the Buffalo's problem, is they spend too much tank time in their own zone. But on the season, Mr. Power has 6 goals, 19 assists for 29 points in 49 games. And he is a 21-22 Young Guns PSA 10 pop, 1,415. And there were 2 sales, both on January 23rd for 36 and 46 USD. So between that gap, though, the card has been pretty even over a 3-month stretch. And I didn't want to pick on him too bad, but I just found it something I noticed, and I was sitting here watching a game with another buddy, and him and I both coach defense a lot with the youth hockey and all that, and just picking out some certain things where
Bad habits he's got.
yeah, where he could get better at, and I know the people in Buffalo love the kid.
Cool name.
I'd like to see him play better, but it's just I don't know. Is what it is.
I have a question for you guys about Owen Power.
Yes.
And players like him. Now, if your favorite team, which Louis is many, we know.
Yeah.
But if your favorite team takes a guy like Owen Power with the number 1 overall pick in the draft, who is steady Eddie on the defense. I'm not saying this specifically about Power, just like steady Eddie defensive guy, the rock foundation defensive element, but really brings not much to the table offensively.
Yeah.
Can you use a number 1 pick on that player anymore? Are you happy? Like Phil, if your Sens had the number 1 pick
fine
to
with
take,
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
If my team needs it, I'm a firm believer, pick the best player at the draft, and if that's the best player that he is the most accountable and consistent, heck yes, sir. That's who I'm picking.
I want to score goals. I want a goal.
It's like, what that reminds me of? When Reggie Bush, I know this is a hockey podcast, but Reggie Bush, he was second, and they picked Mario Williams first because he was more reliable and more consistent for the Titans. I think Tennessee picked. I might be screwing that up, but everyone was surprised Reggie Bush didn't get picked first, right? It was Mario Williams.
Yeah.
Hope I got that.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Well, I don't even want to bring his name up and talk about this in conversation, but Marshmallow Thrower.
Yeah.
Suter, he didn't put up numbers, wasn't there for goals and stuff. I guess I'll give him credit that in the D zone, he did a good job. Yeah, he played a good game.
He eats minutes. He's got great structure.
Yeah, good hockey IQ there, boys.
Yeah.
Huge hockey IQ. Okay.
But we paid out our ears for him only for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, Phil.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to go.
You actually pick for this.
I actually picked this one. Yes. So this former Canada Laser and Ottawa 67. Yes, you guessed it, Canadian listener, Jack Quinn. So he can do a lot better, and I really like Jack Quinn. Great dude. ridiculous talent. We all know that. The guy can, I mean, his backhand is better than half the league's forehand wrist shot. So the kid is ridiculous. Just watch any game with him, even if it's kind of a tough game and he didn't excel. You'll notice the skill set is top tier. But he needs to step it up a little bit on his crappy team. Unfortunately, we picked 2 Buffalo in a row. We're picking on him. But just 1 point in his last 5 games. He can definitely do a lot better. It's not like he's not getting his fair share of ice time, over 17 minutes all year per game. I could have sworn when I watched him play a few weeks back that he was on the second line. But I did a little bit of research today. He's been on the third line with Krebs and Benson. And that's disappointing. Still getting pretty good minutes, though. So I guess they're rolling through 3 lines a lot more than they are their fourth. Didn't recognize 2 players on there. And it kind of reminds me of Pinto when he was on a line with Bert and Ernie. Didn't give him a chance. So, yeah. So Jack Quinn's a 2022 young guy, and he's still a young guy. PSA 10, pop count 330, 27% gem rate. Yikes. Ooh. And it's $23 for a PSA 10. The last sale was $23 American on January 19th for $23. Yeah, and it's been flat over the last month, so no one's buying it really. Yeah. Well,
if you're a Jack Quinn fan, now's the time to get in ground floor, right?
Now's the time. He's got to figure it out, right? Like, remember Yakupov, crazy skill. No one doubted that. Does not work in the NHL the way he just didn't pick it up. I don't think that's going to happen to Jack Quinn, obviously. But if something clicks in him and he gets a line mate or 2 with that chemistry, watch out, man. Like he's trade bait. You could get a lot back for him. I'd love him on my Sens.
He's kind of a Hughes brother too.
Yeah, no, I always think I told you when we were talking. I always screw it up. It drives me nuts.
We were talking about it earlier, though, too. And since we just we just dropped, 2 Sabres on the struggle bus here. But you look at the lineup on that team, and it's like, what in the hell's going
Thompson,
on?
Cousins,
there's plenty of good players
like
on
it's
that
crazy.
team. There's depth.
Why do you think so bad?
I want Quinn on the Sens, and I would trade Batherson and Norris. Get out of here. Batherson and Norris straight up for Jack Quinn, and we'll fill in the other spot. Love it.
Can't trade those 2 fast enough. Those are your go-tos. You want them out.
Non-existent yesterday. Like, I mean, there was great save by Wall on one of the goals, on one of the not goals, and Batherson almost put it in. But I can't stand streaky. I don't. If you're 90% good one day and 30% bad the next, and back and forth, and you flip-flop, I'll take a team of 75% consistency all the way through, because that'll win you the cup.
Yeah.
I can't stand streaky. I can't stand it, and my team's full of it.
Like your underwear.
Oh, joke's on you. I don't wear underwear.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Well, Slab Sharks is a Gongshow partner and sponsor. We're thankful for their support of our show. The current weekly Slab Sharks eBay auction is live, ends this upcoming Thursday night. We are on a total string of bangers over the past few weeks with these Slab Sharks auctions. Tons of great cards each week. And of course, this week is no different. There's more than 4,000 cards to choose from. Hello?
Crazy good cards this week. I had 8 picked out, and I was going to do all 8, but anyway, there's lots of good cards this week. Go check them out.
And the 3 Stooges here, I'm the good-looking one. Louis is the one who's hot on the keys, and then there's Phil. We each picked out our favorites this week from the auction to highlight, and here we go with our picks. So my first pick, this may be controversial. We'll see. 2021-22 Upper Deck the Cup, Alexander Ovechkin, the show Black Auto, super short print, raw. I love these show cards. I like the black ones better than the white. Love silver and gold ink autos on black. The auto's a tiny bit thick though.
Yeah.
It's just borderline.
Card for me.
It just is thin enough to make the grade for me.
Does that look like a unique autograph to you though?
It looks like Ovi's autograph. I mean, his autograph.
It does, yeah.
Let's be honest. His autograph could be better, right? It's nowhere near the beauty of Ovi.
He just imagine imagine being his handler, being like, Alexander, please just sit down. I don't want to sit down. I want to go do something else. Like, he doesn't want to imagine him sitting in a chair for 3 hours signing things. No, that's going to be a signature, right? It's probably a stamp at this point.
Hey, Phil, the other day I had an epiphany.
Ooh, big word. What's that? What's going on?
Was it last Monday's show, I picked a Wah, and we were trying to talk about what his autograph look like. You know, it
Oh,
looks
Klingons. Yeah, Klingon writing from Star Trek.
Well, no, it hit me square in the middle of the face. It
Did it hurt?
is. You're a movie buff.
Yeah.
It's
Predator.
Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yacha. Or I can never say it. It's a word I can't say. Yatuja? Yacha? I can't remember how they say it. Yeah, the Predator thing when he explodes himself.
Yeah.
And ha, 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 ha,
That's
ha.
what his signature looks like. That's what I was trying to think of.
So that was my first pick. And then I went with a 2023-24 SP Authentic Dustin Wolf Whop out of 100.
Nice.
Raw.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this kid. I think he's going to be really good.
It's got a cool name, great colors. Look at that breaks in that patch. Beautiful pick.
Made me turn the Wild game off yesterday and go watch the Devils game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you switching one and two?
I'll watch the Wild first, but
okay.
They were laying an egg, and this kid was playing amazing in goal. So I was like, well, let's go see what's going on in the other one.
As much as I like the Devin Levi like Jedi thing, when Dustin Wolf jumps at the beginning of the game and how high he jumps in that goalie gear, I can't. That's so awesome. That's so amazing.
It'd be cool if he like got on all fours and howled after that. Ow!
Or if he did like the Ozzie Smith backflip. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah, Cardinals.
Any ideas here, Dustin?
Cardinals, kind of same colors
as the Flames. I would say no. There's no
red.
Gold.
What different shades of red?
Yeah, but there's no like yellow. Was that yellow or gold with the Flames? What would you call that? I think it's
I'd call that dirty yellow. But now that you're asking me, I think it's gold. It looks like canary gold,
like dirty yellow.
It is dirty yellow, orange, gold. I think that's the official color. So,
dirty yellow, orange, gold.
Oh, another thing I noticed is now this is relative to people of his generation. Not a terrible auto for the scribble stuff we get today.
No, good point. Good point.
You get that DW in there, a little DW. You're good to go.
All right, who did you pick, Louis?
I picked my first one. I actually picked these two cards just because I think they're awesome. I don't really have a whole lot to say, but just what caught the eye. First one, for the good listener that cannot see, is a 2015-16 Upper Deck Full Force Rising Force Connor McDavid in a BGS 9 slab. One other reason I picked this is I'd never seen it before, and it is out of $9.99. I'd never seen or heard of this card before.
It's a cool card, yeah.
Yeah. So
I think Full Force was one of those, was a set that Upper Deck, much like with the whole Bedardapalooza, did in anticipation of McDavid's rookie year. And maybe never saw the light of day again after that.
Is it an acetate card?
Looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't
it? PTG? That's what they're called? PTG?
PETG, yeah.
PETG. I'm getting close.
And number two, pick another Wayne Gretzky card to show. But,
oh, nice.
Clear cut, high gloss, auto out of 10. It's a 2019-20 clear cut. Raw.
Beauty.
I don't know. Just sick card. You don't really have to say much about it.
Well, I do. So boys, I love the clear cut, but I don't. I think that's a backwards picture. I think that's the other side, no?
No.
Oh no, it's just too clear. It's translucent. The high gloss and the exclusives don't do it for me. I'd rather a regular one and buy it cheaper. That's my hot take. Like when people show me like, yo, look at this high gloss, or no, you look at this clear cut. It's a high gloss. It's only out of 10. I'd rather save a few grand and just buy a regular one.
I kind of think I get what you're saying. Like, is a high gloss clear cut meaningful?
Versus or that like, rare or that unique? Not really. One card in a clear cut box. Like how many base of these Gretzky's are there anyways? What, 100? That's pretty short print to me.
And I don't like the card Louis picked because it's a high gloss. I like it because it's a great photo of Wayne. Exactly. It's got a nice autograph and it's a nice looking card. I could give two hoots if it's because it's not a meaningful card in the hobby.
Yeah. And this is one of top 3 cards to this day of Brady Tkachuk or Sanderson or anybody that people message me. "Look, I got an exclusive clear cut." I'm good. I find the base card clear cut auto quite rare as it is. I'm cool saving way lots of money on that. And I like spending money, and I'm good on that one. So I think maybe that's why they got rid of it, right? Or no, they got rid of the clear cut and flagship exclusive.
Yeah, clear cut exclusive. Yeah.
All right,
Phil.
Philly, you're up.
Oh, good. Okay. So my first pick is a 2024 Upper Deck Connor McDavid Young Guns renewed. I really, really want this card. I have a big affection for these. It's because I held one in hand. If you haven't done so, I recommend you do. They're just awesome. And they're for us. They're hockey. They're nowhere in other sports. There are little kabooms, but they're not kabooms, but they can be our kabooms. Saying that, I'm not sure if the good listener has seen preview images for Series 2 coming out, but the McDavid rookie card is in there. And boys, help me out. What's the artist's name? Cardist?
Luke the Cardist.
Luke the
Cardist. Great guy. We interviewed him. Amazing art. But when I just saw the McDavid, I think it's just too soon. You know, like you threw the mini iconic McDavid rookie into the outburst. People are a little upset already. I think some majority are coming around, and then wham, you hit it with the graffiti art right after. I don't think that's going to go over too well. I mean, I'm not upset about it. I'm just not going to buy it. Sharing best practices. You don't have to get upset. You can be like a little sad face. But you know, different. I really want the red outburst of this as well, not the silver. That's why I think I've been holding off buying the silver, because I feel like if I buy the silver, I'll see the red for a reasonable price and I'll get upset. But the red one out of 25 strokes my ego much better, if we're being honest. And the current bid for this is $157. So that's pretty cheap, but obviously it'll go way up soon. Yeah.
Yeah, these are pretty rare, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they're called Young Guns Renewed though, are they?
All right. I thought I'm not calling it a tribute.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's a retro.
Okay, is it a retro? I don't know.
But it didn't say that.
See, this is like, it's not that important to me. I know it is to certain people, and I know it matters for searches and everything, but it's not a.
Yeah,
I the outburst McDavid Young Gun from flagship 1. Like, I don't know how else that's good enough for me. You know.
Yeah, there's a different name, because the Young Guns Renewed are the ones that Luke the Cardist and Louis just put up. This is the name that Slab Sharks used. So
yeah,
it's retro. I think it was retro.
I don't know, Basil.
You know, I looked at it funny when I saw that, but I was like, oh, I'm probably wrong.
Well, if all 3 of us are wrong, then what do we do? Do we make a positive with 3 negatives? No, it's 2 negatives to make a positive.
You did really good in science, didn't you?
Actually,
okay.
That was good back in the day. All right, next one.
What's your second pick?
Oh, hold on. Okay, go.
This is a plea to my Quebec brothers and sisters. This is a 2019-2020 Upper Deck Montreal Canadian current captain Nick Suzuki patch auto out of 99. Not 249, 99. It's a beautiful card. I want this card. Not really. I'm not going to buy it, but it's okay. Hab fans, wake up. This is your captain. He gets no hobby love. This is your chance. This is a beautiful, beautiful cup card. The cup is the top set in hockey. This card is at a 261 bid. I would think a Montreal Canadiens captain with a 3-color, 4, maybe 5 break patch would go for at least over $1,000, $1,500. We'll see what happens. I don't think it even will. I don't know. Maybe is Suzuki just not flashy enough? He's a great guy, great reputation, great captain. I don't get it.
Well, how many big hobby chases can the Canadians have? You got
right. You say 2,
Caulfield,
right?
Shimmy Shakes. I don't know if anyone still believes in Slavkovsky. His year's been pretty rough too. But
Jack Guy seems to be a favorite Costco boy.
Yeah,
there.
fan favorite kind of guy. But
yeah, he's got a cool name. He's got an accent. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I like Nick Suzuki. I don't love Nick Suzuki. I respect my Canadians as well.
Mm-hmm.
So one of you listening, step up and buy this card. Okay. Current bid's 261.
I did a little poking around on eBay quick on
said
McDavid here. And I tell you what, you pick your poison on what you want to call it. If you call it a renewed, you're going to get the card and you're going to get colored stuff. If you pick retro, you're going to get this card. If you pick tribute, you're going to get this card. It's all over the place. Young Guns
Okay.
renewed, if you were to put that in, you're going to get more of the Luke the Cardist stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do see this card listed on eBay as renewed also. So
What did you guys
It's
think
not,
of it?
no,
but
practice your search practices. You never know what you might find.
yeah. Well, it was not on the checklist. It was unannounced, and so I think that probably hurt the name recognition of it.
Sure.
But I think they're really cool. I like them. I don't know if I would spend the money in it. Again, I don't.
We talking renewed or outburst here? What are we talking?
The one on
This
the
one.
screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean, do you
think
think
it's
it? $1,000 maybe?
That's what I thought, but I don't want to pay that.
I don't either.
I
But
want to
it's
pay
cool.
that for a red. That'll never
Oh, yeah,
happen.
that
bro.
ain't happening.
No,
That ain't
I
happening.
know. Yeah.
Okay. Why are so many Canadian hockey card collectors using Slab Sharks to sell their cards on eBay? It's because they make life super easy for you. Gone is all the hassle of selling your cards through the platform, through eBay. There's no fighting to get right pictures. You don't have to worry about the tedious listing questions. There's no ridiculous questions from crazy buyers like Phil to deal with. You don't have to hunt down payment from winners. And 100% most importantly, if there's any post-sale issues, you don't have to deal with those either. All you got to do is send your cards into them via their simple-to-use online submission system or drop them off with your local rep at a show, maybe even in person. And then Slapsharks takes care of the rest. And then maybe, most importantly, your cards get included in their very popular and somehow still growing weekly auctions that attract tons of eyeballs each week. So head to slapsharks.com today for complete consignment info and to get the process started. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Huge trade.
Huge.
Fun. Friday night, boys.
I heard about
These don't
this,
happen really very often anymore. So it was a lot of fun to like go on NHL X or Twitter and Instagram to get people's reaction. Here's the details. A 3-team trade that so there's lots going on here. The Carolina Hurricanes have received Mikko Rantanen. I know. And the rights to forward Nils Juntorp. And as well, they also get Taylor Hall. Colorado gets Martin Necas, Jack Drury, a 2025 second round pick, 2026 fourth round pick. And Chicago somehow takes the L with the third round pick.
Yes.
Not sure what their I didn't look to kind of see what their strategy and all this was, but Mikko Rantanen was a headliner for, of course, has only 25 goals, 64 points in 49 games played this season. Ouch, if you're Colorado. And if I'm a Canes fan, I'm probably peeing myself right now. I'm so happy that this happened. He's been on quite the terror. Speaking of Rantanen, in the past 3 years, 92, 105, 104 points, plus trending well over 100 again this year. And he's a tank. I mean, he's like a machine. He's massive. He's strong. Oh, I just don't know why. Yeah. So apparently Rantanen was looking for an extension in the 14 million AAV range. And I guess Colorado does not want to pay it. Maybe the impending Baby Bobby or Cale Makar extension would have something to do with it. I'm sure. Guys, Rantanen's only 28, and so Louis, like, where the heck is Billy G in this?
They don't want to pay him. I don't know. It's all business written all over it, right?
No, I'm about to like lose my mind on my team because we have a player that is not even in the same solar system as any other player we've ever had. And you would think, right, in the 25 years you've been a team, you finally get a superstar, you do everything humanly possible to put the best players around him.
Yep.
You don't say, well, we got buyouts, so we can't be good for 4 years. And then I would trade Matt Boldy in a second for Mikko Rantanen at 28 years old and pay him $14 million.
And a couple, then you're going to get, Boldy and a couple picks or whatever you got to do it. Go for it.
And you're not telling me that
contract next year? Just hoping that just on faith you could
No,
sign
I
him?
think that would be part of it. But if you guarantee the money truck's coming, that I don't think that that's an issue. And I don't know how much Colorado's in love with Natchez, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I would think like Boldy and some other young talent would have been more attractive because Boldy's still so young and is considered a prospect.
Right. Yeah. Boldy, Tanev, or
Who
What's
cares?
out of left field though?
Anybody.
How about Jesper Wallstedt? They need a goalie. We don't play him anyways. Well, why not
Right.
trade him?
Sure.
And get a player that this makes me so mad.
Maybe they tried though and they couldn't get something done, right? Was there no
Maybe,
rumors
I
or
don't know.
anything?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We
Who
need a
knows
pro-
what they're thinking?
We need an
But-
NHL insider on this one.
And of course, in return, Colorado gets Martin Natchez, who on the season has produced 16 goals, 39 assists for 55 points, and 49 games played. Not bad. Natchez is just 26 years old too. He hasn't been nowhere near as good as Rantanen though. In the last 3 years, he's produced 40, 71, and 53 points respectively. That's about half, and about half the goals of Mikko Rantanen. And I get again the whole contract thing for Colorado that I'm sure they thought of maybe the Leafs situation where if they sign Rantanen and Baby Bobby Orr and McKinnon, that they have kind of 3-4 players that gobble up most of their salary cap. But we talked about this the other day, Phil. I don't know about you guys, but I'm firm in the camp in any trade that the team that no matter how many pieces, how many draft picks, in the short term at least, the team that gets the best player wins. And it's clear to me that Carolina smoked Colorado in this trade.
You can just go by temperature on social media.
Yeah.
Like Carolina fans, all 9 of them are super ecstatic, and Colorado is not having a good day.
Yeah, I reached out to some Colorado fans that follow our show and that we know, and they were not happy at all.
No.
What do you think McKinnon and McCarr thought about this whole deal? I can't imagine they were super excited.
I think maybe they would just stay out of it and say, I'll leave the business stuff up to the GM and I'll just keep going to play hockey, but I'm going for a beer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to get it's a business. I don't know.
But if you're McKinnon and you want to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but do they have that kind of pedigree in office? Like I mean, I know you're Nathan McKinnon and you should.
Well, I'm just saying, what does he think about it? What does he think personally? Like, I think from everything I know about him, he's
probably hates it.
Competitive, and there's no way that he feels that their chances to win the cup have improved now.
No, I don't think they have.
Here's a direct quote from McKinnon. He called the Mikko Rantanen trade shocking. I never thought in a million years he would leave. So yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, apparently he was shocked. I know Rantanen was pretty surprised too.
Yeah. It sounds like negotiations weren't going well, but if I was again Avalanche fan, I'd be pretty bummed right now. So let's transition to the hobby a little bit. We've talked about Rantanen quite often. He's one of those guys that fits into the third wheel on a good team, gets no hobby love, right? He's been at the top of the list of all those conversations over the last couple of years.
He won't know.
Yeah. Does this change anything, getting out of the McCarr and McKinnon shadow and making him the star potentially of a team? Or is it how does the whole Carolina situation factor into that too?
Svechnikov's in there and he's been around since 2018-19. He's a superstar. No one cares. No one cared about Rantanen before. They're definitely not going to now. Listen, everyone calm down. What are you saying? No one cared about it? You know what I mean. If you listen to the show and you know how we talk, settle down. There's
a glib nature when we say nobody cares, but
yes,
it's one of my favorite things to say.
Right. Yeah, I'll take this from my other side, from a Devil's perspective. I don't want it. He's in the same damn division conference. This is the last guy I want to see. Now they got to go through him too.
Yeah,
in the playoffs. So, and then I'd rather see Natchez all day long versus Rantanen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Natchez is just like small and speedy. That's the other part too. It's the style of play that I think Colorado is really going to miss. And what I appreciate about Rantanen so much is just his size and physicality.
He's a big man.
Too. Oh, he's huge.
Yeah, he does what he wants. He's got that swagger of Anze Kopitar and Barkov, and he's just a big, good hockey player. It's amazing.
Okay, Mikko Rantanen is a 2015-16 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 1,192, 46% gem rate, less over 105 US on January 24th. In my opinion, the ugliest Young Guns photo of all time.
Yeah, he looks a little.
Yeah.
I don't know what he looks like.
It's just I don't know. I could be wrong, or I could be in the minority, but yeah, it'll.
I've been opening up so many older boxes and going through all my older cards. The photography was so much better. It had so much more. I don't know, man. It had so much more care to it. Like any base card now, or even the good ones, it's like regurgitated images. I'd like to talk to Billy about that next time. I know you talked to the photographer there last year, but he made it sound like they're all very unique and very. I don't find that to be the case. You know, like look at this picture. Look what we're talking about. Who gave that a go? Who's like print it?
And maybe it's a fine photo. I'm not trying to be.
Hmm.
I'm acknowledging it's a very subjective taste or opinion
Okay.
that I just don't like.
Don't like the look on his face. That's it.
The body position is
That's
weird.
what you're trying to.
Yeah, so all of that didn't seem to exist as much before. Wait till my pickups. I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
Oh, hey, before you move on, I guess just to close this out here, I found this. If you don't want to hear it too bad, you're going to hear it anyways. So the Avalanche realized they couldn't afford Rantanen and give him enough money to keep him on board. After Draisaitl signed for $14 million, he wanted a similar number, and the Avs didn't want to pay him more than what McKinnon is getting, and then especially with Makar's contract expiring in 2 years. So I don't know. Some people are saying it was a panic move. Rantanen was caught off guard by the trade and was upset. They showed very little to no interest in attempting to re-sign him over the last several months.
Wow, two players at 14 mil each. That's insane, man. Like
the cap is going up though. Like if you look at NHL cap projections, there's going to be some big increases over the next 2 years. I don't know, man.
But every time this comes up, every time we hear these things happen with players, teams are losing players for like $800,000 difference of $28 million. Like, holy crap. I cannot understand something that I'll never be involved in like that. But that is such a foreign thing, you know, like it go ahead.
Yeah, well, salary cap. Sorry, Phil. I didn't mean to cut you off, but they present challenges. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to armchair GM. I guess I just did, but it's
going up $4.5 million next.
I would just say that it's a lot harder to replace a Mikko Rantanen than it is a bottom six forward that's serviceable for your team that makes a couple million a year.
Well said. Well said.
So yeah, it's none of this is easy, of course, and I think that's your point. But and then on the Martin H side, he's a 2017 Young Guns PSA 10 pop, just 81. Another one of these 2017 Young Guns.
Yeah, another nice one there.
37% gem rate, less over 139 US on December 28th. It's up about 55% in the past 3 months. 52-week low is $31 and 52-week high is $195. I think the value at 140. He's having a good year, of course, but probably has a lot to do with the 81 population count, and that's a pretty low pop number.
So would this be a Pinto-esque type of scenario? Hey, what if Pinto in 3 years has a star on pace for 48 goals? You think his Young Gun's going to stay at $3? Probably not.
You wouldn't.
But what's Pinto's Young Guns population? It's got to be 10 times Martin H's.
Well, I hope not.
It's at least 400.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, mine aren't slabs. They're raw.
Yeah, we know. You have slabs too, so stop it. All right, Louis. You want to continue with our quarter century teams? We got a really fun one to do this today too.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Let's get her done.
Don't you think this has been sent to me at nauseum?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure. Hey, yeah, I even pulled teams out to put this one in because it had to be in here.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be done.
All right. So quarter century teams again. I think I got 6 of them in here this time. I was going to do 5, but I figured we'd do 6. I need to try to catch up a little bit. So In case you're new to this, the NHL kicked off 2025 by naming franchise starters from the past quarter century team. The NHL is announcing first and second teams for each franchise that existed since the year 2000. It's voted on by a panel of media, retired players, and executives specific to each club, and they're judged to have the best part for their team in the past 25 years. So, we're going to start with the Washington Capitals. And here, a little nugget I keep forgetting to mention. After this is all said and done, there is a fan vote.
Yeah.
And I think you got to pick somebody from the first team, though. And I don't know what it gets you. So,
I think a puck drop is
go on a TV show or something. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways, the Washington Capitals' best season was winning the cup in 17-18. They have had 10 coaches since the year 2000 and have gone through 3 GMs.
But you have
team,
you have like a 2 to 3 year lifespan as a coach in the NHL.
Yeah. Hired to be fired, buddy. First team on forwards, Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, and Alex, soon to be scoring champ Ovechkin. On D, John Carlson, Mike Green, and in goal, Braden Holtby. Any qualms there?
No, seems pretty straightforward.
Second team, forwards, Peter Bondra, Evgeny Kunetsov, and Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
On D, Sergei Gonchar.
Yeah. Love Gonchar. Big fan.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Great player.
Dmitry Orlov, and in goal, Oli Kolzig.
Another
Only
good
the
guy.
goalie.
Goalie the goalie.
All right.
Next up, the Montreal Canadiens.
Ooh.
Since 2000, best season, Stanley Cup final appearance in 2020-21. Number of coaches, 12. And they have had 6 GMs. On their first team, forwards, Saku Koivu, Alex Kovalev, and Thomas Plekanec. On D, Andrei Markov, Shea Weber, and in goal, Carey Price.
That's kind of rough, isn't it?
Yeah. Bobby doesn't like it.
No. Yeah, he's barking at turkeys in the backyard.
I think he barked at Carey Price.
You look at this first team, and I'm not like, oh my God, this is awesome.
You're not going to go shoot the turkeys?
Oh, we have turkeys every day in the backyard.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have names for them, don't you?
There's a lot of them. Like there's been 20 at a time.
You tag them.
Anyways, does this first team scare anybody?
No.
No.
I think it's very weak.
I didn't think so either.
You.
Second team forwards is Brendan Gallagher, Max Pacioretty, and Nick Suzuki.
Gallagher made it. Wow.
Yeah. And your D is Sheldon Surrey, PK Subban, and in goal is Jose Theodore.
Oh, you know what we should have done? We should have done our own copies, our own versions. Maybe we'll do our quarter century teams when we're done the improper ones that the NHL decided to do.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're rolling along into the rantingless Colorado Avalanche. Best season, Stanley Cup win in 21-22. They have had 6 coaches since 2000 and 5 GMs. Their first team is on forward, Peter Forsberg, Nathan McKinnon, and Joe Sakic. On D, Adam Foote, Cale Makar, and Patrick Waugh in net. This is a banger.
Yeah, that wins it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of all the teams we've done so far, which has to be about half.
Yeah, thanks
this team is smoking everybody.
But you know who's their biggest rivalry? Well, I don't know anymore, but it used to be Detroit. And I think Detroit's top team against this top team. Oh, put Claude Lemieux in and Darren McCarty again. Let's go.
I can't remember. I should have written it down. I think I'm doing Detroit today, so we'll see.
Okay.
Second team is Milan Hajduk, Gabriel Landeskog, and Mikko Rantanen. Defense, Rob Blake and Eric Johnson. And then in goal, Semyon Varlamov.
That's pretty good
Okay.
too.
Okay, who are you taking? Avalanche second team or Canadians first team in a game?
Oh, Colorado's second team?
I'd have to go Habs.
No.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a Kovalev guy. Yeah, and I don't like Carey Price at all, but he's a damn good goalie. So
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. On to the Vancouver Canucks.
Huh.
Best season appearance in the Stanley Cup final in 2010, 2011.
They gonna split up the aliens?
Maybe. They've had 7 coaches and 7 GMs in this 25-year span. Their first team is Marcus Naslund, Daniel and Henrik Sedin. On D, Alexander Elder, Quinn Hughes, and in goal, Roberto Luongo.
That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary.
That's a good team.
Yeah.
That's my second best one now. On the second team, Ryan Kessler, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson,
Yeah, right.
and on D, Kevin Bieksa, and Matthias Oland with Thatcher Demko in goal.
So are people not paying attention? Like, why would you not put JT Miller on the first or Pettersson on the first? That's why they're not getting along. Like, what is wrong with these people? This makes me feel better because the confusion of whoever's picking this. Yeah. Look at Bieksa, eh? The guy is aging pretty good. Oh, you guys don't see Bieksa a lot because he's on CBC television or Sportsnet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good at his job. I mean, he said some pretty dumb things last night about my Sens, but he's good at his job. I like Bieksa.
Well, speaking of those Sens, let's just see how you feel here. I haven't even. Oh wait, I did take a quick sneak peek at the first team, and okay. Anywho, best season for these Ottawa Senators since 2000 isn't a final appearance in 06-07. They've, holy crap.
Yes.
What?
Since 2000.
Is that a typo?
No, that's real.
Oh, man.
I know.
Wow.
You have a coach every year?
Yeah, well, when players cry and complain, when the inmates have taken over the asylum. Anyways, let's get her done.
First team. Starting right out of the gate, Daniel Alfredson.
Yay.
With Danny Heatley and Jason Spezza.
Yay.
On D, Eric Carlson.
Woo-hoo.
Wade Redden.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hamburglar, Craig Anderson.
No, that's not the Hamburglar.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not.
Who is it?
The Hamburglar is the Hamburglar. That's Craig Anderson. That's our best goalie ever. Hammond's our Hamburglar.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry.
He wasn't that good, but he was a lot of fun.
That was
so
awesome.
even in the most objective fill that could possibly exist.
Yeah. What
do you think Danny Heatley was a better center or better forward for the Senators than Brady Tkachuk has been?
For points? Absolutely. Oh, you want me to be objective? Danny Heatley deserves to be on there 100%. 100%. I can do that.
Okay.
I can separate. Absolutely. 100%. I don't respect Danny Heatley as a human being. I am not questioning his. Well, I'm not. I might now, but I'm not questioning his hockey ability back then. He was my favorite player, right?
Yeah.
He was my favorite player.
Yeah.
And then he went like this, in everybody's face. But everybody was born the year he spit on everyone, and they're all Twitter famous now. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, your second team is Marian Hossa, Mark Stone, and Brady Chuck.
He doesn't stutter.
And then Zdeno Chara, Chris Phillips, and Patrick Lalime. Man, I haven't said that guy's name in a long time.
You take Lalime you put Anderson in instead of Lalime, and this team will rival a lot. Big time. Chara will pummel you. Chris Phillips, stay-at-home defenseman. Hossa, don't have to say any other word. Mark Stone, I don't like him anymore. He can't skate worth crap, but Hossa will do the skating for him. And Brady will just sit in front of the net and score all the goals.
Do you think this team with Craig Anderson would beat the first team?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's it. Call me a liar. Detroit will pick them up on Thursday.
Thank you, Baba Louie.
Thanks, Louis.
All right, boys, ready to move on to Hobby Mount Rushmore?
Let's do it.
Get back at it.
I'm excited for this week.
Yeah. Today we're on the last team in the Metropolitan Division for Hobby Mount Rushmore series. We'll be nominating who we feel are the 4 most deserving players for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We've been selecting players based on their career numbers and achievements, meaning to the franchise and community, and finally their hobby markets. That's why we call it Hobby Mount Rushmore. Are we ready? Any questions, Phil?
Nope.
Phil?
This
Okay.
one's easy. Got this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to start off with probably the easiest one, the one I think name that comes to most people top of mind. That'd be Rick Nash. Spent his first 10 NHL seasons in Columbus with the Blue Jackets. He was drafted number 1 overall in the 2002 NHL entry draft and would become the team's first true superstar. His 674 games played with the team is second most in franchise history. Nash's 289 goals is the most ever for a Blue Jackets player. His 258 assists and 547 points is the most ever as well. Nash served as team captain from 2008 until his departure to New York in 2012. He was the co-winner of the Rocket Richard Trophy in 2004 after scoring 41 goals that season, making him the youngest player at that time to ever achieve that feat. Nash played in 5 All-Star games with the Blue Jackets, helped the team to the franchise's first playoffs appearance in 2009, and his number 61 was retired by the Blue Jackets in 2022, becoming the first player in team history to receive the honor.
Did any of you guys see that?
No.
I'm just maybe somebody can chime in on Discord or something. I'm curious to know how that went over because I know they were not happy when he left.
Oh. I'm sure that, time mends fences.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now I'm going to go look it up. Now you got me interested. He was also inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2024. And per card letter sales history, in the last year, about 1,800 Rick Nash cards have sold on the secondary markets. Of those 1,800 sales, 2 were for more than $500 US. And the highest publicly selling Rick Nash card to date is this 2002-03 Premier RPA at a 99, BGS 9.5 that sold for $1,188 US last January. I love those cards.
Great card. It's California Dave loves them. Maybe that was him.
Maybe. I don't know if he's a Rick Nash fan. So from Rick Nash, we're going to go right to a goalie. We go to Sergei Bobrovsky, who spent 7 seasons in Columbus. He's the franchise's all-time leader in games played in net with 374. Officer Bob also has the most wins in Jackets history of 213. He's got the lowest goals against in team history of any goalie that's played more than 20 games with 2.41, and also the highest save percentage at 0.921. Bob's also the franchise leader in shutouts with 33, and there's no doubt whatsoever at this point he's the greatest goalie in franchise history. He won 2 Vezina trophies with the Blue Jackets in 2013 and 2017, and his 2016-17 season was particularly remarkable when he had a .931 save percentage, a 2.06 goals against average, and won 41 games, solidifying his status as an elite NHL goalie. For both of those seasons where he won the Vezina, Bobrovsky was also named to the NHL's first All-Star team, and he was instrumental in the Blue Jackets' historic 2019 playoff run when they swept the heavily favored Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. He made critical saves throughout the series, demonstrating poise and reliability under pressure, making the franchise's first ever playoff series victory. In the last 12 months, 4,300 Sergei Bobrovsky cards have sold in the secondary markets per card letter sales history. Of those 4,300 sales, 9 were for more than $500 US. And the highest publicly selling Bobrovsky card of all time is his 2017-18 Ultimate Collection award-winning Game Used Shield 101 that sold for $800 US via eBay at the end of December.
He was a great interview. You ever see him in interviews?
Yeah.
What a character. It made no sense half the time.
One of the rare players that's had it almost seems like multiple careers.
Yeah.
Right? He had a really good run in Columbus and then, sort of up and down, not so great in Philadelphia, and then started pretty bad in Florida. And now he's had this second coming as a great goalie again.
He's an odd fellow. Yeah. Makes the world go round. I love it.
I don't like this card at all. Do you guys?
Oh no.
No.
It's an ultimate, ultimate card.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't love. I like in hockey gear playing games. Those are the photos I like. I'm not a big fan of the tuxedo.
Yeah, this is what his
kind
mom
of-
would put on her dresser. Like,
Mhm.
A nightstand.
look at my son. He won a beautiful goalie trophy. It's the Vezina.
We're on to player number 3. Oh no, Phil. While he may not have ever scored
Mikko Koivu?
season,
No, I'm gonna go Sergei Fedorov.
Zach Werenski
Yeah, nice.
on the Blue Jackets hobby Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, look at his. Go ahead, Josh. Tell the world how good he is.
Well, when it comes to the defense position, he completely dominates the Jackets record books, Phil. He's played the entirety of his 9-year career in Columbus. Werenski has played in the third most games with the team for a defenseman with 535. He is, though, the franchise's all-time leader in goals, assists, and points by a blue liner with 105 goals, 250 assists for 355 points, and of course counting. He's still with the team. Nearest in goals to Werenski's 105 is Seth Jones, who had 50 with the team. So, I mean, he's like lapping everybody. Werenski was named to the all-rookie team in 2016-17, and this season in particular, with 15 goals, 38 assists for 53 points in 49 games played, he's pacing to have the best season by a defenseman in franchise history.
It's hard to argue. It's true. That guy knows what he's
With the
talking
current pace of 25 goals and 87 points. The best season to date by a Jackets defenseman is 57 points, and he has 53 already. So it's almost a foregone conclusion at this point.
Who would Jack Johnson be? Would that be the other
Jones
defenseman?
probably the other.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Sorry.
His 20 goals in the 2019-20 season is the most by a Jackets defenseman, so he's trying to break his own mark there this year. And at 27 years old, Werenski should have plenty of years left to further solidify his place in franchise history. Now, per card letter sales history, just over 1,600 Zach Werenski cards have sold on the secondary markets in the last 12 months. Of those 1,600 sales, none were for more than 500 US. And to date, the highest publicly selling Zach Werenski card is this
Memorabilia.
2016-17 The Cup, a monumental rookie auto patch booklet out of 6. That's over $394 US this past September.
Good job, High Gloss Dave. I'm glad you got that card. It's the only Blue Jacket fan I know.
Well, his name is John, so you can't know him that well.
Oh, okay. Well,
You think you mix him up in California Dave and High Gloss John.
Didn't I say High Gloss John?
You said Dave.
Oh, I said High Gloss Dave. I got Daves on my mind. These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. Do you know that song?
No.
These are the Daves of your
Kids
life.
in the Hall? You know what Kids in the Hall is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great show.
There you go. Yeah.
So are you guys on board so far with the first 3?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Fourth one, I'm curious.
That was tough. This is...
Yeah, I don't think... Yeah. I don't... Yeah, let's see what you
And no offense to our Blue Jackets fans and friends out there, but a hobby Mount Rushmore of 3 would have been a lot easier. And again, no shade. I mean, it's going to be hard to find 2, I think, for our team, Louis. But so I decided to go with Cam Atkinson for the final spot. He spent his first 10 seasons in Columbus, played 627 games with the team, which is third most in franchise history. Has the second most goals and assists in Jackets history at 213 goals and 402 points. Or second most goals and points in franchise history. And his 189 assists ranks 5th. As far as individual awards and honors, he played in a couple All-Star games. Yay. He was selected in the 6th round, 157th overall in the 2008 draft, and became one of the best draft steals in franchise history. That's for sure. Played a crucial role in the Jackets' historic 2019 playoff series sweep of the Lightning, contributing goals and leadership, one of the most memorable moments in franchise history. Per card letter sales history, over 1,400 Cam Atkinson cards have sold in the secondary markets in the past year. 0 of those sales were for more than 500 US, and the highest publicly selling Cam Atkinson card to date is this 2021 22 stature 101 patch auto raw that sold for $200.
That's a Philadelphia Flyers card, though.
Yeah, well, it's him. So obviously not a huge hobby market for Atkinson, or like I said, it got a little tough there, and I did consult Blue Jackets fans, by the way. So I came up with like a couple snubs and honorable mentions. You can make an argument for Adam Fantilli, given it's a hobby Mount Rushmore. I think he's probably got the biggest hobby market of any player in franchise history. It's just so tough when they've accomplished literally nothing
Nothing.
to this point in their career to kind of give them that nod. But if he turns out like we expect he will in the next 3, 4, 5 years, he could definitely take Cam Atkinson's place on there. Boone Jenner is another one. He's the current captain of the team, of course, but he's a step behind Atkinson and all the franchise leaderboards, so it's pretty tough to put him above Cam.
I'm still waiting for my snub.
I don't think the other ones I thought of were like more future picks too. Like, one guy we haven't talked about much, but Kirill Marchenko is having a pretty good year. And if he continues to pan out, or Kent Johnson, if he pans out,
Kent Johnson is ridiculously good. I noticed him much more than Fantilli, and I watched two.
Like he spent a lot of his career in the doghouse with coaches. Now that could be a coach thing. Yeah, it's been bumpy.
Well, if he's got
how talented he is,
a pee poo attitude, then I don't care how much skill you got.
I don't know, but their whole coaching situation's been kind of a mess. So is Fedorov your
snub? No, I was more of a joke. Columbus is one of those teams where so many people played for them. You're like, oh, that guy played
for like a cup of coffee.
Hartnell, Scott Hartnell.
How long was Panarin there? He was there, right?
2 years, maybe.
2.
Yeah. A lot of guys like that.
I was going to say Nick Foligno. He's a big fan favorite, but I don't know hobby wise. I'm a big Foligno guy.
He doesn't produce much. Yeah, fan favorite, and he did win like the Mark Messier Leadership Award with them.
Yeah,
some people might say Johnny Hockey, given the tragedy, but
we picked him for Calgary, I think. No.
Yeah, and his career with them, I mean, honestly, his tenure with them wasn't going that great. On the ice, anyways.
Blue Jackets, like Manny Malhotra. Or hey, didn't not Biz, Ray Whitney. He played for the Blue Jackets.
Ryan Whitney?
Ryan Whitney, sorry. Yeah. Was it Ryan Whitney?
I think Whitney.
No, I think that's it's the wrong one. I think that's the wrong Whitney. I always get them confused. I apologize.
Pink Whitney, grab a bottle.
Fans, we'll want to hear from about the pick. So I'm assuming won't get a ton of argument with Rick Nash or Bobrovsky or Zach Werenski, for that matter. But if you think Cam Atkinson didn't deserve the spot, would love to know who should have been in his place and why, particularly. But yeah, this one was kind of tough.
You did good.
That was good,
and I'm glad you consulted. You will live another day.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time because I get terrified of picking the wrong ones. Okay, so we're now going to move on next Monday to the last of our 4 NHL divisions for Hobby Mount Rushmore, back to the Central Division of the Western Conference. There's 8 teams. We have the Jets, Stars, our beloved Minnesota Wild, the Avalanche, Blues, Utah Hockey Club, Predators, and Blackhawks. Who should we do first?
Can we just get the Utah one out of the way?
Which one?
Utah.
Get Utah out of the way.
Well, or do we skip them?
Or do we? It's funny you said that because I was
let's skip them.
Say skip that one.
It's just it's like 20 minutes of like absurdity, right? I
mean, we need a good one. Let's do Chicago. Let's start with a good original 6.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do Chicago. All right, look forward to that on Monday. Chicago.
Well, so that's going to be hard, eh? That's going to be tough.
I don't know. I haven't even thought about it. Probably put Heatley on there. Fanatics Collect is a Gongshow partner and sponsor. Thankful for their support of our show. Awesome cards and very sweet deals right now on the Fanatics Collect Buy Now Marketplace. You can check out at fanaticscollect.com. Oh, God. I was looking this morning, I think. There's a Crosby O-Pee-Chee Platinum Retro Houndstooth.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Also, though, the Fanatics Collect weekly auctions live too. This week's auction is nice. You guys are going to have a lot of fun when we do our preview on Thursday's show. Very, very nice cards. About twice the size of the auctions they have been recently. So excited to do that. And we will pick that up on Thursday's show and highlight our favorite vintage and modern cards then. Going to move on, though, to Confessions of a Card Dealer.
Oh.
The other day, we had a chance to catch up with Sylvain Cormier for another edition of Confessions. Now, about 6 months or so ago, Sylvain quit his stable full-time job to chase his dream of making a career in the hobby, buying and selling cards. As a part of the series, he's agreed to be real, honest, and raw about the good, bad, and ugly that you go through when you're building your own hobby business. So with that, we hope you enjoy chapter 9 of Confessions with a Card Dealer. Where does that music come from?
This guy keeps showing up.
I think Sylvain brings it from the magical place of Moncton.
Magical
We know.
Moncton.
Doesn't exist in the world, right?
Yes.
I'm just gonna let it go forever and ever. No. I won't. Hi, Sylvain. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Feisty, but I don't know. I was like crap talking to you before you got back on. I didn't think you were gonna show up. I was like, if this guy doesn't show up, he's dead to me today.
What?
You've never not showed up before, and so it's like there was no reason for me to be feisty about it.
Yeah.
But you just caught me on a feisty day. So hey, what can I say? Well, we're back for Confessions of a Card Dealer, chapter 9. Very excited for that. Kind of our monthly check-in with our most favorite card dealer in the whole wide world, Sylvain, who comes from Moncton, which I think is in a book, but doesn't exist for real. Right? Didn't we decide you get there like in the middle stall of a 7-Eleven bathroom?
7-Eleven. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's funny is that there are no 7-Elevens here, but there are some in Canada, just not in Moncton. So once you enter the hallway of that 7-Eleven, you're not you don't come out of a 7-Eleven. You're in Moncton without one.
So I got to do a little 7-Eleven digression here. My daughter is going on a school trip next year to Japan.
Oh wow!
And the most excited thing that the number one thing she's excited about is Japan 7-Elevens. Apparently, their 7-Elevens are off the charts. Like it's a real thing. Like you could go look it up. They have apparently gourmet food somehow. And yeah, in the US, you get shot at a 7-Eleven. You don't get gourmet food.
Yeah, it's like pretty sketchy in Canada too. I say there are none in Moncton, but I've been to 7-Elevens in Canada, and they're not the most appealing store. It's like where you need to go if you're
you
need batteries immediately. Yeah. But
it's go ahead.
I was gonna say in Vancouver, my phone charger broke, so I had to go get a cable at 7-Eleven because it was the nearest spot. Like that's the kind of spot we treat it like here in Canada. But I do have a friend in Tokyo. I'll ask him about the 7-Eleven craze.
For real. He'll be like, or look it up. It's on wherever. You can find tons of information about it. Okay, we're gonna get into your life as a card dealer, but one more kind of tiny digression we have to do is the rage of the entire internet and the hobby space is our good friend Phil and his abilities in cracking slabs, and particularly a PSA 10, which nobody ever does for any reason because you're just flushing money down the toilet. But it's Phil doing Phil things. So you were co-pilot with him as he was doing it, and I just got to get your co-hosting with him Friday Nights with Phil. I got to get your thoughts and feedback and rundown on what it was like to be there live as that maniac was cracking number one at PSA 10, but doing it in the most horrifying way possible.
Okay. So it's funny when he said, when I co-pilot the show, we don't necessarily, he doesn't go through with me more than he does on Instagram announcing, he'll tell me who the guests are. And then the rest, we kind of just.
But then the guests are always different, right? The guests at 3 p.m. that afternoon it's a different lineup than ends up at 9. So I don't think it would benefit you much to learn who the guests are, anyways, in advance.
Right. So with that said, when he pulled that out and he was sharing that card, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I know how he loves his Gretzky PC, and then when he immediately said that he was cracking it, my initial reaction was, no, are you serious? What's the point in that? But then, I want to say maybe a minute in, the more I know Phil, like we're going on 2 years where I know him, as a pretty good friend here. And the more I know him, the less time it takes for me to be like, oh, okay, I understand this is a Phil
Yeah.
thing. And I do say it in that I kind of
No,
explain
you-
it to chat, his logic.
You did. I got to cut you off there because he went to look for his tools and was gone maybe 2 minutes, and you had to carry the show, and you were explaining to the chat exactly why he was doing this, and then you kind of teed it up where you didn't lead him in any way. But when he
Right.
got back, you said, "Phil, why are you doing this?" And it was like he read your script. He said almost, don't worry, that was not lost on me how you called the shot like with almost 100% accuracy.
Well, I know my friends. Like I believe in quality and not quantity. As I've aged, I'm very picky with who I'm friends with. But if you're my friend, it might take me a while, but I'll know you pretty well, and I'll kind of know how you think. So yeah, Phil, you're one of those friends. And at first, my knee-jerk reaction was like, "What the hell?" And then I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, now I understand." Like, because I know Phil.
Oh, you understand? See, we don't. We're still what the hell.
I'm finally starting to get him. The more I see him in person, the more I start understanding him. And
That was probably the worst example of cracking a slab in human history. If that card isn't damaged, that's a miracle. He'll never win the lottery because that essentially is the equivalent odds of winning a lottery. He did everything possible to wreck that card. First of all, he cracked the slab in about 40 different places in the middle. And then he like was running. You were dying as he's running his knife down the side of it.
Oh my god!
And
yes.
he's like stabbing the card with his knife, and then finally he like picks it up and it just falls like everything, right out onto the table he was working on.
That's
right, and he just
him,
had to
though.
flip it. He just had to flip it upside down.
Yeah, and that's all he did. And that's him. And I swear I saw the card, I looked at it, what I could see. It didn't look like there was anything wrong with it at all. And that just fits him. He can do some stupid what and get away with it.
Yeah, that's true. He's there's like a flow to his his kind of his clumsiness. Like it appears clumsier than it actually is, I feel. So but yes, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna damage it. But I'm also like, you know what? As long as it's well centered, like he said he wanted, that's what he's happy about. So as long as he doesn't cut it in the side, I think he's happy with it looking well centered in his binder.
Well, and the best part about
commercial.
Oh yeah, we did a little infomercial. The best part about Phil when he's in those moments is the chat. I mean,
oh my god,
the chat was dying.
I wish I could keep up with the chat when it's just the chat is very good, and I very much enjoy the comments, and I think they kind of feed off each other. But I wish there was a way we could highlight the chats even more.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Okay, let's get into what your life's been. It's been about a month, a little bit more, maybe a month and a week since we checked back in with you, and it doesn't seem like, around the holidays makes sense. First part of January, not a ton of shows. Have you been busy on the show circuit or no?
Not as much. Right after, it was busy up until December 22nd, from October Van City Card Show until December 22nd. That 3-month concentration of shows, I think, doubled my net show count, in the last 3 years. So it was very busy then. And then obviously New Year, Christmas and New Year gave me a little bit of time to disconnect and recharge. And then I had one show in January, which was a week ago. And then I have another show this Saturday and another show in 2 weeks. And then it's the Quebec City show on the February 14th / Super Bowl weekend. So they're starting to ramp up a little bit more. So I did get a little bit of a break, but I've also been, trying to hammer out the details on the business that me and my partner are launching. We're working on the vision and the roadmap and, working all the legal documents and the incorporation that's done and everything. I can't give an official announcement yet, but hopefully by the time I'm here on next episode, I'll have something a little bit more formal and official in terms of an announcement of that.
But it is a hobby business that you're launching.
Oh yes, very much is a hobby business, and we secured a lot of things that we're excited about. It's just there are a couple more steps. Hopefully, within 4 to 6 weeks, everything's going to be up and running and ready to go.
I see Pokemon.
You're smart.
in
You'll
his
open up a
future.
Pokemon. Do we both say the same thing?
Yeah.
We jinx each other.
Yeah, what?
If you're smart, you'd open up a Pokemon shop. At this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my goodness. I know.
Are your shows
I mean-
getting invaded with Pokemon like ours are here?
No, I feel there was always
Okay.
there might have been an uptick actually, but it's funny because I started going to the Moncton Toy Show, which is 90% toys and Pokemon, and I'm one of the 3 sports vendors. So I do see more Pokemon. I thought it was just because of the Moncton Toy Show, the new show that I'm going to, but it could be the other shows as well have a little bit more, and I've just been desensitized to it because of the Moncton Toy Show. But I definitely see it more in my Instagram feed. I see it more. I hear people talking about it more. So yeah, but you know what? If I did open a Pokemon shop, by the time everything's launched, it could be that the window's closed. These things come in cycles, and
Oh yeah.
I'd hate to open. I would hate there's no way I could have opened a card shop in 2021 or 2022. The people who open card shops those years, I'm sure some of them made it, but a lot of them didn't make it in this area anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't open a card shop in Minnesota, maybe, who knows, the whole US. Don't care what sport or all of them, you have to have Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
or else you ain't
100%.
making it.
Yeah.
Yep.
One bit.
Yep. All the LCSs need to have Pokemon, that's what I hear too. Just the way everything, just the way it's structured for the business, they need to carry Pokemon. So, and that's why a hobby shop is not the business that we're opening. Doesn't mean you can't use our services or buy something from us, but it's not necessarily going to be an LCS. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's get back. I want to get to the brass tacks of the show you're at.
Yeah.
Did you make money? Did you lose money? Were you buying? Were you selling? What was the scoop? The one you went to last week or the week before?
Okay. So I'm very fortunate that I affiliated with Slab Sharks very early because, like I've mentioned in the past on this show, and I remember talking to Discord about it. Talking in Discord about it to one of one of your subs. Is if I just sold cards, I don't think I could do this. I don't think I could go to shows and make a living just selling cards. The fact that I offer a service on top of that, which are Slab Shark submissions, it's the two. Sometimes I'll have a very busy show with submissions and not a busy show with selling, which is exactly what happened last weekend. But sometimes it's the opposite. I'll have little to no submissions, but the buying and selling goes really well. So last weekend, I think I sold 2 or 3 cards, but I only brought 2 display cases worth. I didn't bring my boxes. I have a lot that I'm working on in the business where I kind of have, my $50 cards, my sub $100 cards. They're kind of in the corner right now and kind of just sitting until, we have everything figured out with the business. So I am bringing less cards, but, I sold 2 cards that weekend. But I took in a ton of great consignments, some amazing stuff.
Well, I think every hobby business needs to have multiple revenue streams. That's like why I don't know if you knew this, but on the weekends we have Bob and Louie doing kids' birthday parties to bring in a little extra money for the podcast.
You'd be amazed at what I can
He
make out
produces
of a
their birthday
balloon.
parties. No, it's great. He's fantastic at it.
I love it. I can totally see him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And now with the facial hair, like I like the way you trimmed it. You're looking a
Yeah.
little bit more like Bert and Ernie.
Whoa.
Great.
Well, I could.
So many ways we could go there, but we're not. We're gonna get
Hmm.
back to the cards. Whoa. Okay, so
Sorry.
it is important to have multiple revenue streams, and you said there's a couple of shows coming up. Now, when you go to Quebec City next month, is that kind of when things really kick into high gear, like the spring expo season? Because then there's like Montreal, and then you have. Are you going to? Is there like an Edmonton spring show now too?
The Edmonton Spring Show, I believe, is after. I'm just pulling this up
Yeah.
as you're.
Are
I
you going to
believe
go to
is
that
right
or
after.
no?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that one's in
Okay.
June, early June 6th
Okay.
to 8th. So it's actually
Yeah,
kind
so,
of
so it goes like Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto, Edmonton, and then there's probably local stuff intermixed within that too, right?
right. And actually, the order is Quebec in February, Toronto in April, Montreal a month after,
Okay.
then Edmonton like 2 weeks after, and then Montreal again in October.
I was going to get it right eventually.
Right. But I pulled it up. That's why I don't have that in my head. But yeah, so it kind of like in February, March, it's still not crazy busy in terms of the big shows, but the local shows, like I have 2 to 3 like I have 2 shows in Moncton that are monthly. So I always
Yeah.
have at least 2 shows a month. But
Mhm.
they're like one of them's from 9 to 1 and one of them's from 9:30 to 3 or sorry, 9:30 to 2. So it's nothing too draining or exhausting. It is a good place where people are like, okay, I have cards to submit through Slab Sharks. They keep tracking, on our Facebook page, Slab Sharks Atlantic Canada. I keep I have a calendar there where it shows what shows the people in Atlantic Canada that represent Slab Sharks can drop cards off at. So to say that, sorry, the reason I'm saying all this is just basically, yes, the shows are relatively busy this time of year, nothing too crazy, but it's really early to late fall and early winter, and then the early spring
Yeah.
to late spring that's really busy.
Now, with all these shows coming up in the next few months, are you thinking about inventory? Is that like, are you in a buying mode right now, trying to stock up and have stuff to sell for these shows?
I'm actually less in a buying mode because I just bought several collections. Well, I bought 2
Oh,
collections. Yeah, one of them was a really good collection from a guy that I traded with like when I got really early into the hobby. Me and him made a really big trade. He's a local guy, and I kept working at it, and he kind of his life got busy. He got another child, and things happen, and where he kind of stopped, and I bumped into him this summer. And he's like, "Are you still in the hobby?" I'm like, "I'm actually leaving my job soon to do this full time." And he's like, "Dude, I haven't done anything. How about we make a cash deal, come close to Christmas?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." So we came over and we went through a lot of the stuff. There was a Austin Matthews Future Watch Auto, BGS
wow.
95 in there. There was a Young Guns of him 95 in there. There were some really cool cards. He gave me a ton of, $2, $3 cards. I told him I'd take everything. That's the one great thing about when you're selling a collection, you're decluttering as well. So like it's good
Mhm.
practice for the person buying, unless it's like, it'll take up your whole space and it's a huge collection, millions of cards. It's usually good practice to take everything, the good with
Yeah.
the bad. You know what I mean? So there were a lot of cards in there where he kind of like players that he bet on that, didn't pan out, but I still
Sure.
ended up taking them. But
Well, you know what? The meat and potatoes. What kind of cards are in this collection you bought? Old, new,
Yeah.
inserts, everything. What was in it?
right. Well, it was mainly, yeah, a lot of Young Guns, Future Watch Autos. There was, like I said, the Matthews Future Watch Auto, both the Young Guns and the Future Watch Auto in 9.5s. There were, a lot of SGC 10 Young Guns that I had traded with him back in, I want to say late 2022.
Hmm.
And, or yeah, anyway, it was a couple of years ago, at least back when I was grading with SGC. there was a a handful of raw stuff, like some raw Jack Hughes, some raw John Tavares, some raw um Kill McCarr, a couple more pretty good cards.
Nice.
I want to say,
How many cards in
the
total?
bulk of the value. Ooh, probably 500-600, but like
Wow.
yeah, but I took his base too, so probably maybe even 1,000 cards. But
Mhm.
I mean, I want to say like half of it are cards worth 50 cents. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
How much
because
did
I
you
took
pay
the
for it?
base,
Do you mind saying?
I paid, I have it written down. I paid about $7,500
Okay.
Canadian.
Okay, so I have a question about that. So I mean that's a
Sure.
pretty sizable. I mean, it sounds like a sizable collection.
Right.
If I was to go about a big collection like that, and they wanted 7,500 for it, how I would look at it, I think, because I've never done that before, is I would want to say, okay, I'm buying 500-600 cards, but I need I need 5 cards where I know I can make half my money back.
That was
Right.
exactly my approach. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and also because I knew him, I was fortunate enough that he was like, "Look, I'll drop him off. You go through them." He didn't know what the value was, and he didn't know exactly what he wanted either. So he trusted me completely with looking up the comp. So he dropped everything off.
Yeah.
It was a big box, but it's only, half a shoebox worth that was the real meat and potatoes. So with that, I said, like, I'm willing to pay you obviously more. The better the value, the closer to comps I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like the $100 stuff I paid about 70% comps, but the higher stuff I paid closer to 75. Like
Yeah.
I kind of just he dropped it off. I gave him a down payment, which
Yeah.
was more than half. It was about three quarters. I knew I'd be paying at least 5 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, just the Matthews alone is worth close to that. So that's what I gave him, 5 grand then and there. And then I took about a week. This was really close to Christmas, but I took about a week while Christmas vacationing, just kind of like comping everything, putting it in a spreadsheet, sending it to him and saying, like, okay, this is my offer. We went back and forth for about a day. And then we settled on 7,500. And yeah, it's some of them I've already auctioned off. Some of them I have in my grading pile. Some of them I'm gonna crack. I'm gonna crack the young guns and see if we can get a PSA 10. So yeah, I haven't moved, and like the lower end stuff, it's
Yeah.
still in the box. I haven't even
Mhm.
touched those
Yeah,
yet.
that stuff tends to pile up, I would assume. So you've recouped some of the money already? Like you're on your way towards getting back your investment, at least starting?
I think after this Slab Sharks auction, which ends actually tonight, I should be at a break even point.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Nice.
it should yeah. So this all came from your question of if I'm in buying mode. Uh, I'm not yet, but once
Mhm.
I've broken even from that, I will be. Which by next week,
Mhm.
and then when the business launches, hopefully, but we'll do some buying at the Quebec Expo for the business, kind of hinting at what we're going to be doing. But yeah, so hopefully
Nice.
by Quebec, I'll be in buying mode. Right now, I'm not, but in 3, 4
Mhm.
weeks, I will be. That's the thing with the vendor. It's like you're in this mode, that mode, and
Yeah.
it's just about finding your flow. And at first, it's overwhelming, but once you kind of nail it down, you
Mhm.
understand. It's kind of like seasons. Like, yeah, it comes in cycles.
I have a question, like a USA versus Canada question as it relates to hockey cards, and Louis, you can probably back me up here. I would love to buy somebody's hockey card collection, but literally they don't exist here in the US. Like you can't go on you would have to spend probably 1,000 hours on Facebook Marketplace to find one decent collection every 6 months in order to buy it. So it's just not reasonable. And I always hear about y'all Canadians buying collections. And I've kind of wanted to ask this question for a while, but uh, i- if you decided, okay, I need cards is there always stuff available? Is there always like really nice collections to buy, or do you have to kind of scratch and claw your way to them as well?
Yeah, no, there isn't, and there's a lot of competition too. I don't do much on Marketplace. My business partner does. He'll check Marketplace like
Mhm.
regularly. I find locally here anything that's on Marketplace is way overvalued.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are the odd, and I just don't browse enough to see it. And then by the time I would have seen it, it's already gone. Sure, there are the odds I'm selling my collection, but it really what has been the generating leads for me is, well, first of all, this show. So thank you. I've had some people reach out to me because of this show, saying I either want to, sell my collection or sell a chunk of
Nice.
it, or I want to, send it to Slab Sharks or whatever. So this show has been helpful. This guy just happened that I bumped into him this summer. This was by
Yeah.
far the best
Well,
collection.
well, that's networking and and relationship building, right?
Yes,
That
Mhm.
continues to pay
yes,
dividends over time, and
yeah,
it's like an annuity that you build that you accrue, right? As you
exactly.
spend time in the hobby.
Especially
Mhm.
if I go to show after show after show, I've I'm noticing like especially even the big shows, but even my small local shows, like it'll be like, oh, I have a friend who's selling, they'll refer
Mhm.
them to me. So like building that network over time has really started to pay dividends. And it's not a question of looking, trying to find it on marketplace. It's really about, word of mouth and proving to people that they can trust you, that
Yeah.
that their cards are in good hands, or that I'm not interested in ripping someone off and making a quick dollar. I'm in this for the long term. I'm in this to build relationships, and it's starting to bear fruit quite
Mhm.
well.
Who are the guys that you feel are most liquid right now that are current players that instantly you're interested in their cards?
So I always have this answer. Do you know what it's going to be?
No.
I always mention this Young Gun PSA 10. It's Jack Hughes.
Still?
Like it's always it's always Jack Hughes. Like
Wow.
in terms of liquid,
Yeah, yeah.
like he's always the guy. Him and Connor Bedard. I know his Bedard's prices are down.
Sure.
They're always like they're, but it moves so fast. Like in Toronto, I did, and I might have mentioned this last show. I think I've acquired 6 Jack Hughes on my first day, and within 24 hours they were gone.
Wow.
Like that doesn't mean that he's a great investment or that you should stock up on him as much as you can. But if you can get him at a good price, you can move him really quick.
Mhm.
That's
So
so
you
him.
you feel like if somebody wants to sell you a Jack Hughes for the right price, it's a no-brainer because you have a high degree of confidence you'll be able to move that. Um, what about like Ovi? Do you feel like the interest is heating up on him as we inch
Approach.
closer to the goals record?
So yes, in a global scale, but in a local scale, not as much. Like I I love my regulars, and I love the scene that we have here, but it's not necessarily a high end scene. There are people who buy high end, but they'll usually buy it
Yeah.
from the Facebook groups, and they don't often come to the shows. Some of them do, but it's maybe 1% of less than 1% of the people who walk through the show doors are not necessarily high end collectors. So I do talk about him a lot. People ask about him a lot. Do I see him moving a lot especially the rookie stuff? Not necessarily, but I do keep an eye on the market,
Sure.
and whether it's slab shocks auctions or just
Yeah.
comps in general, I do notice him heating up quite a bit. Yes, and I had noticed it in Toronto.
Yeah.
That there was a lot of OV hype in Toronto.
Are you planning to insert yourself in the Macklin Celebrini game?
I mean, it depends what
Do it.
you're really asking. If you're asking me, are you gonna invest in him and hold long term?
No, you're
On
you're
this-
you're buyer and seller, right? And so
Right.
you're a vendor kind of guy. It just seems like that there's a real steam behind this kid.
Right. I'll always, if you're at my table and you have the hottest prospect at my table and you want something reasonable in return or some of my PSA 10 young guns that I'm not that deep into, I'll always take something, and if I think it looks good, I'll send it to grading, or if it's already in a PSA 10, I'll make a
Mhm.
fair offer, but I'll I'll always take in the latest hot prospect, regardless of whether I think they're a big deal or not. My
Okay.
my ability, or actually, I'm not that great at assessing a player's potential. I'm not that great. Like I
Can I
watch
can I
hockey. Yep.
give you a news flash? Nobody is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people pretend, but nobody really knows.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I try to remain humble in that area and just, you know what, I'm not even trying to guess. And whatever comes in my table, if the offer for what they want in return is reasonable, I'll never turn it down, whether I believe in the player or not. It's for me, it's more about how much, how easy I think I can move it in that point in time.
Yeah, and I think we said this before, but the key in your world is how quickly you can turn over cards. It's like a restaurant, right? If your restaurant is packed and you have 20 tables, but everybody sits there for 4 hours on a Friday night,
Right.
you make no money, right? You
Right.
probably lose money. The key is, can you turn those 20 tables over 7 times on a Friday night? And the same thing, if you buy sports cards and you hold them for a month or 2 or 3, all time does time never time I would assume time helps you like 4% of the time and hurts you 96% of the time.
Yes, exactly. Especially in the game that I'm playing. I have a friend that I speak to very often. He's got some really good stuff that he has parked, and I'm like some Matthews PSA 10 Young Guns, and he's like, "Well, I'm hoping it reaches 3K one day." But he's okay waiting, and that
Yeah.
could take 5, 6, 7 years, and
Mhm.
3K Canadian for Matthews in 5 to 7 years. I don't think that's that unrealistic.
You know what the problem with
But
that mentality is, though, is I think like 75% of those people, I'm not saying this is your friend, but
right,
it would hit 3K and their mind goes to, well, what if it hits 5K?
Right.
And then they
right.
they don't sell it, and then it goes back to 1200, and
Yes, I
you
agree.
know.
I agree.
Mhm.
And I kind of did give him an example like that, he, but I do think that, in 5 to 7 years, that card hitting 3K isn't super unrealistic. Um, it depends how popular the hobby is. It just, for me, I keep seeing it getting more and more popular every Toronto Expo I go to.
Well, and it goes back again, it's that principle of turnover, right, in a business. Because if your mentality, and your friend maybe has way different goals than a car
He
dealer
does.
like you does, but if you held a, let's say you bought an Austin Matthews Young Guns at 1,000, and you held it for 7 years and went to 3,000, you make $2,000. You could probably make 10 times that amount if you flip it right away, take a $300 profit, invest that into something else, flip that and make and keep that, so you actually lose money by
I agree.
holding onto inventory. It's the faster you move it, the more money you actually make. And I think that's the challenge of, we've talked about this before too, where there's a lot of like real, like from a collector's perspective, there's a lot of really kind of cool, interesting cards that are probably terrible ideas for a card
Right.
dealer to get into because they just don't have a lot of knowledge within the hobby or exposure, or people don't understand what they are. There's a limited market for them, and you end up stuck with them.
Right. Which has happened to me, which has happened to the guy I just bought the collection from. Like he some of the cards he bought, he liked the player. He saw it was a rookie card, so he bought some thinking, but even
Mhm.
there are way more nuances, and I'm not picking on him. I made that mistake. I think everyone makes that mistake at the beginning. You see
Yeah.
a rookie card for a decent price of a good player, like, ooh, you'll buy it, but it turns out that, it's not a set or an insert that people really care about. And then you're
Mhm.
stuck with it, or you sell it at a loss. And a
Mhm.
lot of people have that loss aversion. And that loss aversion is also something that'll stop you from
Sure.
churning properly. I, I want to say at first, 30 to 40% of the cards I sold were at a loss. And then now it's probably down to like 10%, maybe
Mhm.
15, 10 to 15%, because I buy smarter. And
Yeah.
I tell people who'll ask me questions like about like selling cards. I'm like, it's not about how well you can sell something. It's about how smart you can buy it. If you buy something that you at a very low price, where in a collection where half of it isn't that high value, but you're giving them, you're paying so little for it that you can afford to just put it aside for a couple months while you sell the meat of it. That's how you should be buying when you buy collections.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's all about how you're buying and not necessarily how well you're selling stuff.
So Young Guns are very liquid for you still. Now,
Yes.
do you prefer like parallels of Young Guns, or is it you just want the base? Is the base just like a Silver Outburst of Lane Hudson? Is that more intriguing to you, or is the base just the base Young Guns easier to sell?
No, I do like the parallels quite a bit. And if ever I do decide that, or if ever I notice that the business is doing well enough where I can kind of park a card, hope I can hope it
Hmm.
can go up in a year or two or three, it would be an exclusive, or it would be a
Yeah.
parallel card.
Hmm.
Um, from a vendor standpoint, I don't care. Like if the card isn't graded yet and it looks really good, if whether it's a parallel or not, I actually get more excited for parallels because the multiplier is higher on a 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do take in parallels. I don't discriminate on what kind of parallel it is. I enjoy the base for
Yeah.
a quick flip, but I'll take whatever, man. Like a parallel will be might, if it's not graded already, I'll get it back in 3 months, and I'll try to move it then. I don't discriminate.
Are you grading a lot of cards right now?
Right now, I just got like, I want to say like 55 to 60 cards back. Those were cards that I acquired in Toronto. And then I have like a stash of like maybe 50 cards that I sent, you know, not that long
Hmm.
ago. So it's been about, I don't know, 50 cards every month and a half. I want it to be higher. It's
Hmm.
just with, launching a business, a lot of things are, my routine's kind of just been thrown off, but
Sure.
it's for good reasons.
Hmm.
It's to launch a business, and to keep assuring that I can make a living out of the hobby. But yeah, my flow is kind of disrupted right now
Yeah.
in terms of grading cards.
Do you still feel like it's really hit or miss with sending cards into PSA? Like, do you get nervous to check the grading results? Like, or do you feel pretty locked in with your ability to assess, with a relatively high degree of certainty that, this card is a good shot of getting the grade you want?
Right. That's a really good question. I want to say I didn't notice that big. I did get slam's not the right word, but this last one that came in, I want to say it was maybe 55% tens.
Hmm.
As long as you're above 50, you should be good. Obviously I'd prefer something like 75 to 80%. So 55 did feel a little low, but I do remember this specific grading pile. I I do remember a few times where I'm like, this looks good enough. And 75% of those were not good enough.
Yeah.
So
Does it really hurt you, like, as a vendor, that we're kind of in this sort of 10 or nothing phase? Like, if you rewinded back 3 years ago, we're like a PSA 9, you could at least make a few bucks on it, but
yeah.
unless you disagree. It kind of feels like it's like 10 or bust at this point.
Yes, I agree. And to answer your question, whether it hurts me or not, I can only assume it does. I've never actually lived on the
Mhm.
other side of it, you know,
Mhm.
because I got into the hobby as a vendor. Like, sure, I sold on eBay. I started with SGC cards, so I could have a 9.5 and make money, and a 10 and make money with SGC cards. But with the PSA, you know, I started off doing eBay a lot. Now it's way more shows. In terms of like selling at shows and stuff, yes, I can only assume it does hurt me
Yeah.
as a vendor, but it's my current reality, and there's no point in fighting it. It's just I have to accept it and aim for as many tens as I can.
Mhm.
That's just the way it is. I have to adapt or drown.
Do you have any like piece of advice for, it doesn't have to be just like a flipper, but you by engaging in the hobby every day, by doing a lot of deals and transactions, you learn. Is there anything that even a collector like Louis or myself would benefit of, like something that you've learned over the last couple of months?
Well, I kind of mentioned it earlier. The last light bulb to kind of go off on my head is kind of like it's about how you buy. Excuse me.
Mhm.
It's about how you buy, and it's also at first when I first got into this, I treated everything like it was scarce. You know, even Young Guns, even
Mhm.
PSA 10 Young Guns of Jack Hughes. If there was one that would come my way and someone wanted to sell it, sometimes I'd overpay because I'm like, oh my god, this I don't see these every day, but like now I do see these every day. So it's like unless it's from flagship, unless it's not from flagship or even
Mhm.
SPA, unless it's a card you don't see in the market often, which is hard to determine if you're not in the market every day. But nothing beats experience, and also don't treat every card like it's scarce. And it's
Yeah.
all about how you buy. You're going to see that card again. Don't
Well, our
rush.
brains kind of work
Yeah.
against us in that. And if
Yes.
and there's something to that. I think you and I have talked about offline, but I think is pertinent to this and worth sharing. It goes from like some negotiation training that I did in my corporate life. And if you want to make an offer on a card, and if you're negotiating with someone, and let's say they have it, this person or entity has it listed for 100 and you want to offer 80, go ahead and make that offer. But the important thing, and this is especially if you're in person, you say, how about $80? And the super important thing once you make that offer is you can't be the next person to talk. Now,
Right.
people get nervous. They get really nervous, like when there's silence. And when a lot of times when we're nervous in interpersonal conversations or negotiations, we want to fill that void. And so they'll start, well, you'll go into explaining recent comps and this and that. But the reality is when you make an offer for a card or anything in life, I mean, this applies to anything, listed for 100, you offer 80. What that silence, what's actually happened is the person's trying to decide. And when you talk, you interrupt their thinking process, and you actually, by a very healthy degree, ruin your chances of getting that offer accepted because you're not allowing them to process and decide. And so if you have to sit there and stare at them and smile for 30 minutes, that's what you do. I mean, really. I mean, if you are the next person, so if you, and this works on the other side for selling too, when you make an offer and you don't let the person that the respondent talk first, you will lose the sale or the offer or the deal or however you want to term it.
I I completely agree. And it's something I remember when you mentioned this when we talked about it, maybe a year ago offline. It's something I've been applying, and it works, and it's true. And it's also kind of to what we were touching on, what we were just talking about. It's
Yeah.
like stand your ground too. It's like, and if they don't accept it, you'll find that card for $80 elsewhere. Unless you've been looking for it forever, just stand your ground. Especially, yeah,
Hmm.
especially if it's a card you see often.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got a lot of exciting things. We can't wait to hear
Mhm.
about your venture next time you come on. Some of the shows that you've been that you have on your schedule. And, thank you for kind of, again, continuing to give people an honest and, look into what the life of a professional car dealer and hobbyist is. So, really appreciate your time today, Sylvain.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I can't wait to see Chad again on my next show with Phil there and see what kind of
It's
antics
always
he's
it's a
up
wild
to.
ride. Okay, and before we go too, if anyone wants to sell you a collection or do a deal or get advice from you, what's the best way for people to contact you?
For now, it's on Instagram, which
Okay.
is, if you're, for those watching, my handle's right next to my name at Lashwine,
Mhm.
Lashwine. I will have, an official business email that, maybe next show it'll be a different answer to that question once I have an
Okay.
official business email.
What's it
Okay.
going to
For
end
now,
with?
Instagram.
It's going to be
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you got to give something. You're
yeah.
talking
What's
way
it gonna
too.
What's it
What's
going
the
to
name
end
of the
with?
business?
Sylvain
My email?
at what?
What's the
Yeah.
business name?
What's the
that you're-
business? What's the
I'm not.
What's it
I
going to look
might have
like on the
mentioned it.
business card?
I think I mentioned it.
You did. So just
I'll-
mention it again.
No,
Doesn't hurt.
in case I didn't mention it, I want to mention it when I do a big reveal.
Well, you have to. You're talking way too abstract. You have to give some nugget. Like what? Give one detail. So to Louis is angry over there, and he's got a kid's birthday party he's got to go to soon, and he's going to be in a bad mood.
So our vision is to kind of be a hub for the hobby,
Like a hobby hub.
in terms of like, if you have cards and you're not sure what to do with them, should I grade these? Should I auction these? Should I sell these? Should I, whatever. We want to be a hub for where you can choose your options, and whether it's grading, selling, auctioning, whatever. We want to help hobbyists either upgrade or liquidate or move or trade for their cards. And yeah, we want to be a hub for that.
So I've worked in marketing for a long time, and I think I have a great tagline I'd like to sell you. You ready for it?
Sure. Sure.
This is a winner. It's not going to be cheap. Trademark Josh Madigan, January 23rd, 5:02 p.m. Central Time. Rub-a-dub-dub. Come to the hub.
That's pretty good. We could have a little.
You should check your door. There's probably people lined up right now. I mean,
You better believe it is.
Yeah. I'll sell you a spokesperson. Oh, are you gonna offer Phil's slab cracking services as part of your business?
My
And that would
God.
be.
That's a really good idea. I actually put the video on our landing page, just Phil cracking it and be like, do you need your card serviced? Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, Sylvain. We'll talk to you again very, very soon.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me.
We are back. So I got to mention something. Sylvain reached back out and said that he totally spaced when we asked the question, like who people are asking about at shows, like the hot players of the moment.
Yeah.
He forgot to, he wanted to mention Shimmy Shakes as a name that he gets asked about a lot, which makes a lot of sense in the Eastern Canada world, I would assume. Yeah. A lot of buzz for that kid still, which is, it's kind of fun. I like it. He's playing well.
Great.
Can't
Very
score
well.
a goal.
Assist machine.
Assist machine for sure.
And very
Have you
pretty
watched him
doing
play
it.
much, Phil?
Yeah, lots.
Are you impressed?
Very extremely. I've never watched more Canadians hockey than this year in like the last 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked great. He looked really good last night.
Oh, you watched a little bit of the Canadians game?
Well, I got an NHL.
They were playing the Devils, so
I got an NHL package, so I'm trying to watch a lot more hockey this year when I can.
Nice.
And I'll watch the teams that I like to watch, and Montreal would probably be number 2. So
number 2.
yeah.
Well, we're ready to move on. Very excited about this new product releases today. Really excited for this conversation. Got to mention though that new product release is brought to you by our friends and partners at Mint Inc. Mint Inc. is the spot in the Greater Toronto area for hobby products, events, and fun. They have tons of singles, other collectibles at their shop too. The next trade night, January 31st. Mark that on your calendar. There will be grading specials, door prizes every hour. Now, one thing about minting trade nights is that space is limited, so you got to go to the website mintinc.ca and register for your spot. And even if you're not in Toronto, but you're anywhere in Canada, Mint Inc. is an internet or authorized internet retailer. They can ship to you. So if you're in the Yukon, Phil, mining gold, Mint Inc. will ship you your boxes. I wonder though if you can pay in gold. That'd be interesting, right?
Oh,
Like,
Johnny will take
Zach.
gold for sure.
Yeah, he'll take gold.
Yeah, he'll take gold. Precious metals, give it to me.
Need to
For
ask
all your
him if
hobby
they-
needs and pleasures.
Need
Oh,
to
what,
ask
Emily?
him if they shipped to Moncton. See if it's a real place or not, because I still don't think
It's not
so.
a real place.
Okay.
No.
For all your hobby needs and pleasures, head to mintink.ca.
Is Halifax
speak-
a real place?
Uh,
Is it like the entire eastern seaboard,
No,
or
no, just
just where
Moncton.
Sylvain lives?
just Moncton. I don't believe it.
I want to go.
Which
to
you didn't answer the question. You're mumbling.
Yeah, Halifax is real.
Oh, okay.
Where Sidney
So-
Crosby's from.
Yeah.
And Nathan McKinnon.
All right, let's move on. This is ridiculous.
All right.
Uh,
Okay, now we got to move on because I want to talk about this. So there's been a bunch of juicy upcoming product reveals that we have to discuss. It's our duty. Now, whether it's been from the CDD Certified Diamond Dealer Conference a few weeks ago or just normal Upper Deck product announcements, yes, a lot of info's come out and it's all kind of looking ahead, which I love to do. It's a lot of fun. So let's dig in, get right to it. It's become a tradition of the CDD for the Young Guns checklist to be somebody to take a photo of it with their phone as they project it onto the screen. And so there's some kind of nuggets that came out of
Oh, is
Series
this
2 in particular.
the leaked scoop.
Yeah, not very leaked, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's
Very well centered for a hidden photo.
well, it is. It does have a little thing. Some of the right column is cropped off. But so here's what you can glean if you're the good listener out there and not watching, or it's a teeny tiny writing too if you're on YouTube. Again, the photograph was taken by someone, of the projector at the conference, and two things really stand out. First of all, it appears that Celebrini and Michkov are in Series 2, which, boy,
Very
that could
surprising.
make
Can't
Series
wait
2.
for extended.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like why that because to me it would make more sense as a business. Like if I'm managing Upper Deck to split them up. But
Yeah,
remember,
spread
they
it
have to do these checklists so far in advance
Mhm.
that I wonder if they weren't, they didn't project Michkov to be what he is
I don't think
at the
so.
time the checklist.
What if they have an ace up their sleeve for extended, right? What if they have something new coming that they think will be a banger?
But,
Maybe,
but if you look at like the names that are left, it's probably Will Smith, and Will Smith was not as pumped and not as hyped as Celebrini, but had a very, very good college career and was a very high draft pick. It hasn't been fantastic though. I don't think he can carry a bunch of excitement for extended.
I hate to be a
That's for sure.
jerk too, but I think names matter a lot, and he's going to have to be a better hockey player than the popularity of the Independence Day star. Like,
Yeah, it's not as fun to say as Celebrini.
but it really does matter. Like, that's my theory about Splendor. I think that's a beautiful set, but I just don't like saying the word, and I think that's why it didn't take off. No one wants to say that. You don't
No.
like Splendor? No, because it reminds me of spending lots of money.
Spend more.
Yeah, there's a variety of ways.
Well, if you guys were in charge of Upper Deck, what would you have done? And would you put them both in Series 2 to make a pretty exciting, what looks to be a monster set, or would you have wanted to hedge your bet and make sure that extended is a little bit stronger by splitting them up?
As a hockey fan and collector, and as a small business owner, I would have spread it out both ways.
Yeah.
I'm probably
You
not
would've
going to
spread
buy
'em out.
extended now. I'll buy a Series 2.
What about
Why
you,
would I
Louis?
buy extended?
I like them both ways. I like it having them together for more than 1-2 cards to chase in the series, but then it kind of does it deflate extended unless they got something up their sleeve of what they're going to put in there.
Well, acetates in it. Maybe they'll have all
Canvas
acetate.
or canvas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just load extended up hardcore with like every acetate of Young Gun is going to be in that.
It is. That's
Yeah,
the
for
way
sure.
that it works. Yeah, that it works now,
Oh,
and
Oh.
or it should. I mean, unless they change it this year, I'm being
I thought you-
presumptive based on.
no, I trust your call more than mine, 100%.
So, but if you maybe, well, let me ask you this question. So if Extended has Celebrini and Michkov, let's say canvas Young Guns,
Mhm.
Will Smith regular Young Guns, and the acetates, does that get you excited at all about Extended?
No,
Or
canvas
no?
are beautiful cards. I just don't collect them. And I think a lot of people get really excited for about 3 weeks on them, and then it flip-flops again.
Right.
Yeah. But or what if they just make Extended super cheap because it's not jam-packed? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like if they're aware, they're like, oh crap, we put Michkov and Celebrini together. What are we going to do for Extended? Well, let's just, I don't know, make it $20 cheaper and do this and this. That'd be cool. That'll probably never happen. Said no chief financial officer ever makes something cheaper. But yeah, that's an option. That's an option I would do.
I was curious as to what the good listener would do if they had the power to just make this decision. So we did one of our world famous and beloved Gongshow hobby polls. Oh, there it is. And we gave 2 options: put both players in Series 2 or split them up. And here's how collectors voted. 71 wanted them both in Series, 71% wanted them both in Series 2. 29% would split them up. I'm not shocked at all by that result.
Give me now.
It is going to make Series 2 pretty awesome with 2 legit players to chase. But if we go back to that photo of the screen, it's not the only noteworthy thing about Series 2. If you guys notice in the bottom row, the 4 cards to the right are Young Guns teammates cards.
Yeah, what's that?
With Michkov and Fedotov for the Flyers, Malou and Hudson for Canadiens, Gautier and Zellweger for the Ducks, and Celebrini and Smith for the Sharks. So this appears to be something new.
I like that they did it this way versus a Young Guns with 2 different players from different teams. I think that's a good idea.
Well, they typically do the checklist,
Or the checklist,
and it's not out.
yes.
But like even in the case of 2022, Louis, one of the flagships had Boldy and Rossi. That was the checklist, I believe. So they have done teammates.
Yeah,
before.
you are right. You are right because I got the dumb card.
I'm curious about this one. It feels like because we're to see 2 players on a Young Guns card, I think that's most synonymous with a checklist. Checklists have very little value. Like they have a little bit of value for a couple weeks, and even the Bedard, I think, a Carlson checklist is pennies.
I bought a Stutzel checklist high gloss for like $180, and I'll never be able to sell that again.
Yeah,
but it was out of 10. I thought it was cool, so I bought it on the spot. FOMO,
And I think we have to wait and see like what the card looks like and how they treat it. But I don't know if does a Young Guns teammates card do anything for you guys? Get you excited about anything?
If it's a cool design picture, and if it was like Brady and Matthew, yeah, I'm all over it. But if it's like Jake Sanderson and Thomas Chabot, I'm like, I'm good.
We need to have 2 good rookies on the team because it's both current rookies.
I like a good Young Gun. I'm good with that.
If that Young Gun teammates, if it, the checklist that I got that was Boldy and Rossi, I think that's
okay. Now, the Series 2 checklist was not the only noteworthy thing or information that's come out in the past week. And I don't know if you guys saw the previews for 2024-25 SP Authentic. Well, Upper Deck is tinkering with some iconic cards, which could be good, could be bad. We don't know. I don't know if you guys saw the the Future Watch Auto patch out of 100 will have both horizontal and now vertical versions in 2024-25.
Nice. I'm a fan. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, what's the matter, Joshy Poo? You don't like it? No,
it's a very nice looking card. I don't know. I tend to be more of so it's like a heart and a brain thing. I tend to be more of a traditionalist.
Yeah.
With my heart, but my brain tells me that we can't criticize Upper Deck for not innovating and then criticize them when they try to innovate too. So, and any decision's reversible if it resoundingly isn't well received, they can always go back to horizontal.
I don't think
but-
their mark of changing things is bad feedback or good
Okay.
feedback. I don't.
Oh, I
I don't
think they
think
pay
that's
more
their
attention.
metric, brother. Listen, like, okay, fine.
But it does make sense to me in the fact that you hear most people prefer vertical to horizontal cards.
Mhm.
I've always been a fan of the flop. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. What do you guys think?
I have a theory about this horizontal card thing.
Okay.
I'm a horizontal card guy. I like them.
Yeah.
But I think where people tend to shy away from them is they don't look right in a slab because with the label this
Yeah.
way and the card this way. But
Yeah, and they don't.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add to that, Louis. They don't like, same thing in like a top loader binder, right? You're cranking your head to see it, but
Well, take that sucker out and take a look at it. It's what you're supposed to do.
mhm.
Wear and tear, though.
Yo, listen here, mister. Take it out of that thing and let's take a look at that card.
Yeah,
That's supposed
always.
to be-
And you drop yours into a plate of spaghetti. That's the Phil thing to do.
Yeah,
So Phil, you're on board. You like this, huh?
I do. I like it. I like it. It's out of 100. I like it's a flop. I like how it's a lot of white. It's clean. It's crisp. I'm a fan so far. Yeah.
I don't know if I looked deep. I wish I would have looked for clarification. My only hope is like I'm cool with the horizontal version. I don't want there to be 100 of each. I don't want there to be a horizontal and a vertical version. I want it to be one or the other.
Oh, that's so. You just said they're probably going to do a horizontal. And come on, man. If they do 3 101s in stature, they're probably going to, like throw a bunch of it at the wall and see what sticks the best. I'd love to know what the metrics are to gauge these. Move forward with it or kill it,
I don't know if there is. Okay, I'm on the sell sheet right now. The solicitation, as Upper Deck calls it. It says look for awesome Future Watch auto patch and horizontal Future Watch auto patch cards that feature a swatch of premium memorabilia and autograph and are numbered. So it says and. Does that mean it doesn't say or? Horizontal.
So you're probably right. Oh no.
It says look for Future Watch auto patch and horizontal Future Watch auto patch.
So maybe
wish it
one
said
player will
or.
be horizontal, one will be vertical.
That's my hope. I don't want them to water it down to have both versions, if that makes sense.
I am some of these, and I do know I said I like the simplicity and the cleanness and the white. I just realized now that this is vertical, one thing that it had going for it before was you always knew it would be horizontal, and that made it a little different than other RPAs. Now, this is kind of like, Ultimate Cup. Doesn't it, like, it's all kind of, you're only limited, right? Patch window, autograph, player.
Yeah.
It's getting a little generic, and that's unfair of me to say. I'm sorry, Upper Deck. I love you. But then that is unfair. I love you're trying something different. I'm just giving you my initial reaction here. It looks a little generic to some other sets. Like materials from doesn't SP already have one that looks like this? Kind of like
you see that. I think what you're talking about, you see in the cup a lot. I have the same feeling about the cup. It's like how many different card names can you have for just a patch auto card?
Yeah.
Here, I got something for you. Well, first, what I meant was with the horizontal card, just pull it out of your top loader binder. You can hold the card in your top loader. You're not going to wreck the card there. But second thing, for the Future Watch auto patches, so dissect this. It says memorabilia enters the chase via Future Watch auto patch out of 100 and horizontal autographed Future Watch rookies, serial numbered.
Where are you getting that from?
A checklist website.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a few changes, a few different things going on.
We'll have to see how it plays out. While we're on the topic, I don't look. I assume late spring, early summer.
Okay.
Isn't that when? I should have looked that up. But
don't ask me, brother. I don't know.
One quick additional thing though, while we're on the topic of SPA, is they do also have the design preview. Oh no, shoot. Sorry.
Are we looking
My
at
bad.
it?
So we did another hobby poll. I wanted to see what people think of the vertical Future Watch Auto Patch.
Oh, you did a poll. Nice.
Yeah, we did a poll. And I'll spare everyone the image of our hobby POLE.
Yeah, I didn't put it in there a second
Yeah,
time.
we don't have to do that again. So I asked collectors if you love it, hate it, or can't decide. 46% love it. 36% can't decide, and 36 hate it, and 19% can't decide. So 46% love it, 36% hate it, 19 can't decide. So
I think it'll
overall,
go over well.
yeah, pretty positive.
Yeah,
I would say.
it'll go over well.
Okay, now while we're on the subject of 2425 SPA, here is the Future Watch Auto design for the upcoming set. And I don't know if you have an opinion. I like it. I like minimalist designs.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Well, go ahead.
I just think the pictures, man. Like, I don't know. Why is every player stunned? I don't know. That's my new thing. It's my new whipping boy thing.
That's hockey IQ at its finest right there. Look at the processing going on in his head. Can't you tell?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's art, right? We always say this is art. That's very generic art. I don't mean the design of the card, like the photograph. I don't know, man. I've been looking at far too many sets from the 2000s and late 90s. There's something very different about the standard photography of the hockey players. I don't know. I don't have the vocabulary to explain it. It just feels, listen, I guess I really hope they don't listen to this, but it feels like lazy. There's something lazier about the photography. Like, are they taking video and just freeze framing stills? Like, I don't know. I have no idea.
I tell you what, anybody can come to me and tell me I'm out of my mind, but one of the best years for hockey photography is Upper Deck base set 2018-19. Go look at those and prove me wrong that those are not the best looking hockey photos ever.
There might be something to that, right? Like, maybe there's always a reason behind the curtain. Like, maybe they had a different photographer. Maybe that photographer had a different camera. Maybe he had more access. Maybe he got the players in an afternoon game and they look jollier. I don't know. I don't know the answers, but there's clearly a difference from
I would push back on the lazy thing. Not that couldn't be a reason, but there's a lot of other potential reasons, I think, and some of them you've already mentioned. Maybe the budget was cut. Maybe the NHL has restricted access to photographers. Maybe they're who knows what the issue could be. And I'm using
the word lazy not to assassinate character of photographers. I'm using it as maybe someone's more sitting at their desk doing things than physically going places. Like, I'm not. Yeah, too many words hurt too many people. I meant more lazy as the process. I hope you're more right. Like, maybe they lost something. Maybe they lost access to this. I would love to know these things.
Well, we'll get a photographer on, and you guys can hash it out.
Sure,
I have the power to do that.
Let's do. You already did, and it was a great interview. Yeah, but he was very, very confident. He was an extremely. I've met lots of photographers with like 20, 30 years, not like doing menus and like in a different thing, but they're still photographers. They're not really open to new if you're 30 years a photographer, you're a professional, and you're no one's going to tell you you're not. You might suck. Like, there are a lot of not that great photographers, and you can make a very modest living if you got decent gear. I would think a trading card company would have the best of the best things and infrastructure set in place to take the best unique year-to-year photographs of these athletes. And I do not feel, and if they are doing that, great, then I'll be quiet and I'll just, but I don't know any other way. That's how I want to explain it.
Well, I have a couple of things that I can say about.
Push back on Phil.
I'm not even pushing back, just maybe even adding context. Is number one, they have photo coordinators that select photos. So as a photographer, you might give 1,000 photos and you don't know, like the photographers, they find out when the sets come out, what photos got picked.
That's true. You're right. Okay.
So that, doesn't
maybe
fall.
My beef is with them then. Middle management.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And you talked about the guy we talked about. His name is Nick Wazuka. Louis and I got to see him in action at the
Yeah.
rookie, and he's a boss. I mean, that
Yeah, eh?
guy
Mhm.
is awesome. I mean, he was like leading the show out there, and he was like telling those kids, go here, do this, do that.
Someone has
A-
to. Yeah, that's good.
And I think he does a really, really good job. And so I don't think it's for a lack of talent.
So I'm going to
On
be
the
a bit of a jerk. That doesn't mean you're a good photographer if you can manage and coordinate things.
He gets hired though by the Twins,
I
by the
know.
Vikings.
I like that. I love that. I'm being a contrarian. I'm just being devil's
Yeah.
advocate. I don't know. I feel a little empowered in that sense. Like, that's great. Like, really nice guys that played hockey. That's great, but they're not all going to win you Stanley Cups. So
Think of it
Well,
this way, though. Hold on. Take this Celebrini picture right here. This could have been an on ice, take away, you don't like the look on his face or whatever. Well, this
this is
could
a
have been
candid shot. This
it
is
could
a
have been an
candid
on ice thing, obviously it probably, that sounds idiotic. An on ice thing, stands, boards, everything around him, maybe players. They take the photo, and like Josh said, the photos get picked. But then those photos, I think, Upper Deck, come on and correct me if I'm wrong. They go to the design people, that make this stuff, and they're like, okay, we're gonna just cut the guy out or take this out and put this in and put their design on the card too, which I think can affect the way the original photo looked.
Yeah. Well, you would need this candid shot. The way his hands are, it flows like rule of 2/3, all that jazz. Like, ghost him from the waist down for the auto. Yes, I guarantee you, whoever's listening to this cursing me, they're like, he doesn't realize what it takes. He doesn't. You're right. I don't. I'm only scratching the surface. I'm still the guy buying your cards. So I think you should listen a little bit to what I'm saying, and I'll listen to what you're saying. And wouldn't it be better if we all married up a little together?
And I agree that the benefit to being a sports photographer here is you can take that rule of 2/3 and throw it out the window.
Yeah.
I don't want my hockey card with my player on, way over on one side of the card and seeing a bunch of nothing,
Have
I
you
don't know.
seen Wayne Gretzky's Campbell conference? There's lots of exceptions, right? There's lots of exceptions.
That was a while ago though, right?
Yeah, and it was a great thank you, Louis, for proving my point even more. A while ago, we had very different types of cards being produced, right? I mean,
Yep.
design cards.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're very
right.
different, right? You
So
gotta you gotta black out backgrounds now, and
You could
I-
nitpick the heck out of, like we have in some of Troy's bad photography, bad hockey cards, but
Sure.
I don't want, the photographer, man,
Well, I
they're
don't
doing
know.
the best they can, and
I just don't know why they don't want to involve the consumer. Like, hey guys, do you want to see the process of beginning to end on how we make a hockey card? Well, first we need photographers and blah blah. Like, you can make it so fun.
I think the problem would be is
it
the
so
photographer is
fun,
going to
man.
take these pictures and say he took the pictures and came over to your house and sat next to you and he was like, all right, I've been at, with Ottawa and whoever they've been playing on their homestand for the last week. And I've snapped all these pictures of these guys, this. And I bet you the pictures would be like, oh my God, those look freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Right. But then once it leaves their hands, what's chosen and then what somebody's going to do in whatever Adobe program or whatever they use to then put this together, it's kind of out of their hands,
Yeah, and I'm picking on a future watch where I want it to be clean with a clean background, and I'm saying like his facial expression. It's just it all has a theme to it, like not just Celebrini here, but a lot of players. Like half the cards on my desk, there's this stunned
hockey face.
Bedard has the worst hockey mouth I've ever.
But
Maybe
listen,
it's a new
10
generation
years,
thing.
10 years ago, this didn't exist, and that's what I'm trying to say. More action shots, more this goofy, flat. I don't know, man. Like almost every Gretzky card, every single Gretzky card has
That's
him
terrible.
Yeah, like it, and that's an old. They didn't. Yeah, I don't get
It's
it.
like what in the
Well,
heck?
Can I add a couple other points of context too that we should probably consider?
Mhm.
The first is, I don't know about you guys, but technically I have no ability to judge a good photograph versus a bad photograph. Subjectively, I do. Like I can say I like that versus I don't. But if we're asking the question, are these good photographers? I'm not I'm not trained as a photographer to know a good photo or not, but that's a minor point. The other thing that I know and learn in talking to some of these guys and learning about how the sausage is made, Phil,
Mhm.
and this could be a strategy issue, but a lot of times, especially like with the guys the kids for series 1, where they get those, like a photographer will Brock Faber will make his debut on March 30th, and they will send a photographer to like Nick to Nashville, and he has one game for his young guns, and that's it. So so it's not like I think that probably limits the options
It's a good point.
that they get in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Where again, maybe that's a product of a fault of design. Where why are we putting these photographers in a situation where they have one shot to get that kind of iconic photo there? But it's all stuff that we should talk to photographers about and get them on.
I
And
I just don't like accepting. Like, okay, let's say your answer. Let's say whoever's listening now from Upper Decks, like Josh, bingo, bang on, shut him up. That's exactly. So my response to that would be, well, why is he only getting one game? Where are your logistics? Like, make that better. And there's nothing wrong with trying to do better. I know that's
100%.
been demonized these past few years, but I promise you, life will be better for everyone if you wake up and say, I'm going to do better at that thing, whatever that thing is.
Yeah, what I'm not doing is I'm not trying to push back on the or trying to diminish the quality of the output, right? And saying, well, we should accept, right, lesser than. Where
Yeah, I
I'm
just think I
where
want
I'm pushing back is like I try to go to the root cause, right? And your comment was lazy photography, and it might be,
Uh,
but that might not be the root cause of the issue that's creating the situation that you're talking about.
okay, so I'm going to correct it once and for all. So if I said lazy photography and I put a period at the end, I apologize. Lazy entirety. There was something, man, that
Okay.
word just people it hurts. That word gets people, eh? I'm trying to think of a different word because I'm not trying to say like someone sitting on a chair with their hand in their pants eating a Twinkie and just saying I'll get to work later. That's not what I'm implying.
I think you
Yeah.
just. I think this.
I
Whole
know.
thing needs to-
Hold on. I know lots of very hard workers in their minds that they do something that takes them 10 hours and they think they're working dumb, not smart. And they think they're very hard workers. I'm sorry, you're not in my mind. You're not. If it takes you 10 hours to do something that I just learned to do and it takes me like 3 hours, but I'm working a little smarter than you and I'm not trying to say I'm more intelligent, just critical thinking about certain steps and not running through life with my emotions a little bit. That's not working hard. And I believe a lot of people think that is working hard right now. I was on a plane for 12 hours and I only had this and that and that. Yeah, okay, so what, dude? You could have done this and this better. That's what I mean more like maybe they're
You're saying that it's an ineffective process,
there's
right? Because
a
it's
theme
not
of these
creating the
cards
result.
that's constantly coming back and I don't get it. And the reason I said lazy, maybe it's consistently mediocre. Like I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just think this whole thing's kind of turned on. We're kind of peeing on the wrong person's shoe here.
I'm
I
not
don't.
peeing on anybody's
It's not
shoe. I
the.
said
It's not the.
photographer once, and it
I'm
got
not
blown out
blaming
of
the
proportion.
photographer at all. He probably hands Upper Deck X amount of photos. Like we said earlier,
You're probably right.
What's getting
Yeah.
picked isn't his problem. And maybe some of the, half of these hockey pictures, I've just been scrolling through a bunch too. Who knows? He might have just come off of a hard back check or something, and in hockey, I always was breathing through my mouth, and that's the best picture that's just one of them that showed up.
Probably not.
Uh,
Like we're talking about professional multi-million-dollar operations here, and you're going to tell me that's the best one that came out? That's exactly what I'm talking about,
no,
dude.
I'm not saying it's the best one that came out.
You're providing the scenario.
It's one that was submitted, but
Maybe it was
It's-
cheaper. Like do photography. Like I have no idea. Ultimately, I really don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the process. Maybe certain pictures of if a photographer sends 500 pictures, are they labeled like by colors, and certain colors are more expensive because it was harder to get that shot. So maybe the card companies are not buying those shots and they're going for more B and C type shots because type A is too expensive. I don't know. No one's
Mhm.
explained it to me properly. I'm gonna go rewatch. I'm gonna go rewatch that because I think I've probably that video with Nick probably answers a lot of the questions that I've forgotten. So I'll rewatch that. I can make a 10-minute video. I will do that, and then hopefully that'll explain because I'm sure
Yeah.
people are upset. I'm sure any photographer that's listening is like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I had a Nikon D70, bud. Okay, 18 years ago. I know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna make a 10-minute video to show exactly what I'm speaking of, and hopefully it'll make sense. And people that are mad at words like lazy and photographer, they'll be okay. All right. So that's what I'll do.
Just remember, the photographer just takes them and turns them in. He
Yep.
doesn't pick
Oh,
them.
there's part of it. There's post production, and there's a lot of
A lot of
you're right,
chiefs in the
Louis,
pot. Yeah.
a lot of technical stuff. Well, I got a question for you then, though, because I don't disagree. Well, I wonder if like maybe it's like the really important cards like need extra special oversight or more, than your average card. Because well, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. One of the things I've noticed over the last couple of years, like in flagship, is that I think the photography in the base set, like there's the Kyle Palmieri card. There's a lot of the goalie images have been pretty awesome. So I don't think it's like a universal thing, but
Mhm.
it is really important on important cards like a Macklin Celebrini Future Watch Auto, right? That's a really important card in the hobby. And then the other thing I would ask you, maybe Phil, because I'm just curious your opinion on this, is what would you rather like? Let's just say, and it's hypothetically, would you rather have like one good photo that meets whatever your criteria of good is, that's used on multiple rookie
No,
cards and sets, or would
no.
you rather have all individual unique photos?
I want unique. Josh, we're paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for our hockey cards, okay? So not all, but some, like someone's got to buy a box for someone to buy a single. I
Yep.
don't think it's too much to ask for excellent pictures on majority of these cards always.
Yeah.
Always. You're giving me a sticker auto and a $500 black diamond box? For the love of God, give me an amazing, interesting shot of all the hockey players on all the hockey cards for $500. You can do that.
Yeah.
What did I won't even pick on Upper Deck. Like, what did Tops make in profit last year? What did Fnatic or I'll ask
know.
Upper Deck. What did Upper Deck make in profit last year or
I'm
last
not
quarter?
gonna tell you that they're a private
Yeah,
company.
all I'm saying is, oh man, they're gonna just shoot me, aren't they?
No, dude, you're giving your opinion. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I
We're just
know.
having a
It's like
discussion,
I'm
right?
intense though. And people are like, "This guy's great."
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
I
liking
don't
this. I'm
forget it.
liking this.
I won't. I'm
Let's
happy. I'm in
talk.
a great mood. Yeah, I'm just passionate.
I'm just waiting for your hands to start shaking. Then
No, I
know
can't. I'm
we're
sitting.
really-
I'm sitting on one of them,
Mhm.
so I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Well,
just no
and
excuse to do. There is great room for improvement, and I'm sure there's going to be 15 middle managers that'll say I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. Then invite me over. Come show me.
oh, you know
Why
me.
don't you invite the
You
Gong
know
Show?
exactly what's going to happen with this, right? We're gonna,
It doesn't
matter.
matter. They should invite the Gong Show to things, or I mean, instead of giving Neo cards and comics free cards, and well, they could give us some boxes and we could talk about it. That'd be cool.
No. Well, this is not the only. There's another kind of a really big announcement that
real.
came out. That have you guys seen? We have upcoming now our first Legend set since SP Legend Signature Edition. I look forward to it. It's called Ingrained Icons.
Ooh. Do I have
Yeah.
a picture?
Sure.
No.
There's the
Not
box. Oh no,
Yep.
we have some pictures.
That's all you're gonna get, Phil.
So
Oh.
it's a set that's made in conjunction with Upper Deck NHL and NHL alumni. Right now, the targeted release date is the end of July 2025. A couple questions out of the gate before we look at some of the designs here, because we do have previews, Phil. Do you think any potential sentiment, good or bad, from the recent 24-25 Ingrained release will kind of spill over into this at all?
I kind of like the last Ingrained. I just wish it was a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
I like some of them.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe that'll affect it in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming they made it at the same time, right? Because that would only make sense, right? To make 24-25 Ingrained and Ingrained icons.
Yeah, I guess so. Eh?
Yeah. Um, Now, one thing that I want to kind of throw out there in the backdrop as we're looking at designs is I think part of what made 2020 or SP Legends Signature Edition such a smashing success was it had that huge chase card in the all-time Future Watch. So as we
Yeah.
look at the designs and upcoming, you know, is that a necessity for one of these legend sets to go really big and get a lot of positive impact? But okay, we'll just keep that in mind. So here's what we know. There'll be a 100 card base set with numerous parallels. So the first one is we can show, or example is the base set mahogany parallel. So it's looking at like Timu Solani.
Okay.
Kind of interesting design
Hmm.
there. Then the next one is a base set ebony auto parallel.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Patty Wow with his Terminator style autograph.
Predator.
Louis Predator, sorry.
Yeah.
Right,
That one's
so
a little. That's a little less.
Yeah,
That's a little loopier.
that's a little.
Yeah, it
more
is.
Maybe had a few pops in him. He's like, I don't care. just
Less
go."
choppy. Right. And then, of course, there's a number of auto inserts and auto memorabilia. So there's carved in time, which is kind of it's either wood or faux wood.
Yeah, I want to like that more than I just.
Brian Leach is there. Then signature shots. So they provided an example of a Wayne Gretzky game used stick auto.
I love
Pretty
these.
cool.
Yeah.
And then complete stick signatures, which I like these ones. It has an autograph and then 3 memorabilia windows that show different parts of the stick. So you have in this case, it's Brian Trottier, and it has a piece of the handle, the shaft, and the tape.
It's an aggressive set to build, eh? Whoever was project coordinator on this, good job, man. Wow. Must have not been easy.
And there will be, of course, a number of just memorabilia cards without auto as well. A couple of examples that we can show. Dual stick nameplates. Here's a 101 with, or is that not the first one, Louis?
We can Eiserman and Chelios. That's a perfect card. You don't need another card.
That's cuts of class. So there's 4 players on that one.
Yeah.
With Chelios, Eiserman, Lidstrom, and Robitaille. And then there was a dual stick nameplates. Do you have that photo? Yeah, here we go.
Wow, look at that.
I like the stick, like the
That's
names
sick.
on the stick. Those are.
Yeah, I like it.
I feel like that you don't see a lot of big Lemieux coffee combos either.
Well, coffee was traded like 18 times. I mean, but I still think of him as an Oiler or Penguin. I don't think of him as anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no pre-sale pricing yet. We do know the box configuration though.
Ooh.
It's a 1-pack box. There's 6 cards per pack. The breakdown per pack is this. You get 2 base set cards, 1 numbered base set parallel or carved in time card, and then 3 autograph and or memorabilia cards. So that doesn't mean there's 3 autos. It's 3 auto and or memorabilia cards. So is this a set hitting you in the hobby feels, guys? Moving you?
No, I like it. I don't know. It's legends, right? We all love our legends. I think it's great.
What do you think, Louis? Are you excited about something like this, or?
Yeah.
I don't think.
I just.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Louis.
I want to look at. I mean, I get excited once I looked at. Sorry, this is tacky maybe for me, but I want to look at the checklist, see what's on there, see what opportunity I had. I don't know that I'd buy a box, but if there was, some of these dual stick nameplates or some of like the autos, yeah, maybe I'd jump on it.
I think this is a good opportunity for like Daniel Alfredson. He's not. I mean, he's one of my favorites, but he's not a guy that signs a lot, And I would love a piece of his memorabilia. Maybe some other players. Like I know I bring up Scott Gomez a lot, but there are some people that like Scott Gomez. Maybe you could get one of his gloves or sticks. Or I feel these are good opportunities for maybe not the superstars back in the day that we know, but like Brian Bellows, maybe for the Minnesota North Stars, right? Mm-hmm. Like that would have been. He'd be a player I'd like to see in a set like this. Acquiring their memorabilia. I like it. I think this is great. I'm just a little nervous on the price point, but if anything's going to be expensive and justified, it would be a set like this, wouldn't it? Yeah,
what was
way
the
more.
Price?
I thought we don't know the price.
We don't. I'm just. What would you guess?
Okay. I'm going to say $500 a box Canadian, so like $3.50 American.
Oh, Yeah, this
that was exactly my guess. 350 US.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
So
I
$5
just-
Canadian.
I just said 4.
5 Browns. 5
Can we go
Benjamins
back?
for you? It's Benjamins.
Yeah, all about the Benjamins because
Okay, we say
goes on the $100
Browns
bill.
up here. 5 Browns.
Can I go back to the original question though, or one of the question I had before we looked at the designs? I don't see like an all-time Future Watch auto. When I saw that in SP Legends, I was so sucked in. It was like I didn't,
Yeah.
it was love at first sight, right?
Uh-huh.
These cards look amazing, but I don't. It doesn't appear that there's that kind of huge monster hit. It's all about the quality of the memorabilia and the players and the checklist. Maybe like Louis was saying.
Yeah, maybe if they had like an instead of like a 1 of 1, like a black out of 10 ingrained, like a really classy, and
Yeah.
don't call it engrained, call it grained. I don't know, man. Yeah, like one special rare card for a big chase.
And maybe it's unfair to Upper Deck even to the all-time Future Watch auto was like catching lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to follow that up with something equally as big, maybe.
I think the outbursts are on par with awesomeness.
Yeah.
Right up two big grand slams in the last few years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right, we ready to move on to mailbag, boys?
Oh, really? Wow, that's fast. That was hooting and
Monster
hollering a lot,
mailbag.
Monster
So-
mailbag.
Right out of the gate, Instagram Axel Foley 13 PC. What is your take on payments after ended eBay listings? As a buyer, I always pay immediately. And if for some reason I send the seller a message advising when payment will be made. Oh, that's kind of good. As a seller, I require payment within 24 hours to deter buyers who never plan on paying. Even so, I still get pushback. Never understand bidding on a card if you can't pay right away, or be courteous and transparent with the seller. What do you guys think?
I've always paid right away, so I don't.
Me too.
I generally hate owing people money in any aspect of my life, including eBay. So, yeah, you said you never understand bidding on a card. Or sorry, Axel. Hey, how's it going? You mentioned you never understand bidding on a card that you cannot pay right away, or be courteous and transparent with the seller. So I also generally don't understand things I would not do. And if you can figure out how to not let these things bother you as you get older and affect your inner peace, please let me know. Because I also don't get why people bid on things and not pay for them. There's outliers, of course. Poop happens. The roof could leak while you're sleeping the night before you bought, or even anything more simple. Who knows? But in general, it's the same people not paying, and it's silly. Stop it.
Communicate at least.
Yeah.
I got one of the best piece of advice I ever got is along these lines, and it was this. And honestly, I've used this for 20 years.
Oh, do it, Josh. Good.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Negotiate like a pauper, but pay like a prince.
I don't know what a pauper
What's
is.
a popper?
Oh,
Like the
pauper's a
Pied
poor
Piper?
person. And so the meaning of it is like be ruthless and in negotiation, but when it comes time to pay like a prince.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Love that.
Right. And that, so if you operate that way, like, because nobody likes it's sucks in any walk of life to be in the when you're owed money to have to bug somebody
worst,
to pay
dude.
you.
It's the absolute worst. I've lost friends because of it. I just didn't tell them, right? Like, it cost me the whatever they owed me to just, from a Bronx Tale. De Niro says it, I think, or Paul.
When I thought of it better, like pauper, poor person, meaning that you have to get the best deal for yourself.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to pay, you pay like you're a prince and you have all the money in the world, and it doesn't matter, right? It's
good.
Instagram, slightly rounded. In light of the Rantanen trade, do you agree that great but non-superstar players lose some value collectability when they leave their first teams? Thinking of guys like Matthew Tkachuk or Erik Karlsson, Jack Eichel, etc. He says, imagine this will be the same for Rantanen. So I think what he's going at is like, as excited as Carolina fans are going to be to buy a Young Guns of him in a Colorado Avalanche jersey, does that diminish kind of the collectability at all?
I think it does diminish it. I think it does.
What do you think, Louis?
That's such a hard one. It's like saying anybody that started out with Team A and then gets traded to Team B, their card
Yeah.
not worth as much. It all depends on the player. I don't think Branton's gonna change in his case at all, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not as cool. It's not as cool having
Like if Kaprizov's Young Guns was in it, or rookie cards were in a Sharks
Whatever.
jersey,
right.
would it?
And then we got him. I wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta get that Kaprizov. It's not the same.
Ottawa people go crazy, right? Like when Chikrin came, I can't tell you, 90% of my Ottawa Senator, all three friends of them, they all went so hard on Jacob Chikrin, like thousands and thousands of dollars. Never getting that back. Never getting that money back. And it's all in Arizona uniforms.
But like I said, it's player based too. If I don't think anything would change if McDavid left. Draisaitl was on a different team. Pick whoever you want. I don't think some of these guys' prices are going to drop.
Instagram, Taz Paintball 37. When are you having Mr. Vintage on? Who's Mr. Vintage? And that's no shade. I have no idea who he's talking about.
I don't know who that is.
You, Louis?
No.
Oh, Taz. So reach back out and let us know who Mr. Vintage is. We love have anyone on that knows about vintage. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
Super difficult. Now this could get emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to agree before we get into it that we're all going to remain friends after. Our Instagram cards AH as a hot dog a sandwich. Louis, you go first.
Oh, why? Because I wrote a book.
You seem most passionate about.
You got very emotional. You got very passionate about this.
Yeah.
Like,
I did. I got deep into this one. I don't know why. So I said no. It's a hot dog on a bun. I'd put it in a classification of its own, maybe a hoagie. The debate centers around the hot dog's unique bun, which is a single piece of bread split down the middle, as opposed to the traditional two separate slices of bread used in sandwiches. Then I went on again to say maybe I call it a small hoagie on a long split roll with any variety of fillings. A sandwich is two pieces of bread with junk in the middle. A hot dog is not a sandwich.
Yeah, I think too. A sandwich is bread with meat in the middle, and is hot dog meat. It's very debatable.
I would think it would pass as meat, but with a lot
meat-ish?
of contaminants, meat-ish. Yeah. So I said technically yes, but no, thank you.
Okay. Glad we got that. I'm glad we're all okay.
Yeah.
Instagram, Ryan Berkeley. What's Phil's favorite insert from Parker's Champions? I've recently stumbled on cards from Wire Image insert set, and oh my, he loves them.
Yeah.
Phil?
Okay. Well, Ryan, I gave all my Wire Images away for free, but I am super happy if it floats the Berkeley boat to high tides. Good job, brother. My trash is your gold, and I welcome the reverse scenario. And color variant is my beauty. And lots of people don't like color variants either. I had at least like 3 people send me theirs for free. I sent them other things, and yeah, the Wire Images just probably one of my lesser favorites from that set.
I would have predicted that answer, because and I kind of feel this way too, is that from Parker's Champions, I like the parallels much more than the inserts.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opinion on this, Louis? Very controversial topic.
Still stuck on the hot dog.
That was another Baba Louie Hobby hot take.
Thank you.
That was great.
Facebook, Chris Bryden. I feel with access to box scanning, the market for older boxes is dead. So you had 2 cases of Upper Deck McDavid Your Hobby boxes you paid $4K for. They would be worth about $35K now. Even if it costs $5K to scan them, the most scrupulous collector is going to be tempted. Collectors with no morals would not think twice about scanning them. Do you agree? Thanks. Love the show. Appreciate the love, Chris. Phil, you went deep on this one.
Yeah, I like it. Philosophical questions get my juices flowing. So let's go. I'll be a little quick on this one. I wholeheartedly agree, Chris. Us humans can justify anything in our minds. Imagine your scenario, but said owner of these $35,000 boxes had medical bills piling up. He needs a win, and he needs it very soon. I think my morals would be compromised. So I'll go first. Yes, they would. If I was, compromise your morals or you're going to have 6 months to live, there's always bonkers, or you're going through divorce, or you don't know what other people are going through. And just because they're a good person doesn't mean their integrity is hijacked in whatever said situation. So keep it simple. Keep it simple. Slippery slope as a seller. And I don't envy many of these possible scenarios for sellers. As a buyer, yes, it's definitely changed for me. I would think it's changed for a lot of the landscape. You got to be smart about this. So I would stay away from any big whack sales on eBay that are just random boxes here and there. I would need to, it would have to be from a trusted source. I know we keep saying that, and I know it's cheesy, but it's not cheesy. It's accurate. Trusted source. From a buddy that maybe you're not going to get mad at if you, I don't know. You just got to be very careful. And, I generally am staying away from a lot of I won't buy a box if it's $1,000 or more now. The highest end product I'll get is a 2015, 2016, like O-Pee-Chee Platinum. They're about $800-$900. I don't think anyone's going to scan that. And I think they might soon, right? The price is only going to come down. $1,000 box, that's worth it. Let's scan it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me nervous, man. I'm very nervous about that with you, Chris.
Yeah, but
anything to add, Louis?
Yeah, but okay. Say you had 2 cases, like he says. You paid $4K for them. You scanned them, and let's just stick with the numbers here.
Yeah,
and they'd be worth about $35K. If you're going to sell these things for whatever price, $35K, 40, 20, you obviously know something's in it. I would know you did something. Well, what the heck are you asking so much money for them for? In the first place, right? Does that make sense? Or am I completely losing?
I think he's hypothetically saying that, like, if they were cup cases and you bought them for $4,000 in 2015, and now they're worth $35,000.
the appreciated value over time.
Oh, is that with the older boxes is dead kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like 10 years ago, you paid $4K, and we're in present day, and they've amassed to $35,000 in interest. Like, that's what it's worth because the people say it is.
Did I scan them and know what's in them yet?
Well, that's what he's saying, is that the market's dead because you don't know if they've been scanned. You can't verify that.
You're stuck with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This whole scanning thing. A, I hardly buy any box wax anyways. B, I won't buy any except from maybe I could count on my one hand people that I'd buy them from. I'm not buying them online. I'm not buying them on Facebook, any of that stuff. So maybe they're dead, but something's going to look, I don't know. I hate this whole scanning thing, but I'm not worried about getting hit by it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, it makes total sense. If, and in a way you're lucky and not lucky that you don't have a case of 2015 the cup, because it would be
I swear I didn't scan
right
it.
now.
I swear I triple stamped it.
Well, what about the inverse of it too? Like, we've kind of taken the perspective most often about people scanning these and assuming there's junk in them, so not opening. But what if you scanned a case and you saw like McDavid RPA?
You open the case, Josh.
Yeah.
Or you try to sell it for, instead of the box.
No, because
$5,000.
No, because people. I don't want that stank anywhere near me. I don't want anything to do with CTE scanning, remote. I don't want to. How are you going to remain positive? Be like, yeah, I scanned this, and turns out there's a. It's like, well, what were you going to do if there wasn't a McDavid in there, dude? Like, you don't want that, man. You don't want that smoke from people.
Okay, moving on.
Sorry.
Nicholas Hanna, what would it take for Panini or Topps to be able to break into the market? I like Upper Deck, but Panini made some fire cards in the early 2010s. I agree with that.
You skipped one. We don't, or you didn't skip it. We just don't have it on the slides.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Louis.
On the only way Panini Topps going to break into the market, and I don't want it to happen, I would Wouldn't Upper Deck have to lose the dang license to Fanatics?
Yeah, I mean that's one option. Or the option I like better would be for all, frankly, the leagues to decide that, although it's probably much more convenient to have one partner, that the competition is best, and to give licenses to multiple partners again.
Could you really quickly explain to me why that's not the case anymore?
It's just easier to deal with one company.
Okay.
I think, and I think so. Like if I'm Upper Deck and the NHLPA comes to me and says we're thinking of opening the license to multiple companies, I'm going really hardcore into saying, well, part of the reason why we make such a high quality product is we have exclusivity and we can dedicate, and so the quality of the product is going to go down. And I don't know if I think the
I
benefits of
don't know.
competition are better overall than that. I'm just trying to straw man for you
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
what Upper Deck would say would position against that.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably get when you have exclusive agreements, you make life easier on yourself, and then you can charge a premium for exclusivity. And I assume that that's probably why the leagues do it that way.
So if, let's say, Topps and Panini had licenses, and so did Upper Deck, let's say we had 3, we wouldn't have been paying $400 for flagship Upper Deck for Bedard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the way I would look at it is like if I'm the NHLPA and the NHL, and I'm saying, well, the value of our license is 10 million. So we could have 4 companies that pay 2.5 million each, or we'll find one company and give them exclusive rights, but charge them 12 million.
Okay.
Just for
Good.
the value
Thank
of that exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Nicholas Hanna would have gone farther and also asked a second question. Would have read, would you guys like to see this happen? And I'd be, yes. I want to see.
Yeah, I ultimately would like. I mean, Upper Deck's my top dog forever and always, but I'd like some competition makes everything better.
Of
Always.
course. Yes, it does. All right, now Discord NPC 83. Okay, just got the question on enjoying cards and top loader binders. I'd love you to share what types of themes and organizations you've got for your binders. What has brought you the most joy? So how do you structure what you put in what binder, that sort of thing?
I just do my insert sets. I answered it wrong there. I'll answer correctly here. I like I have a small but mighty Wayne Gretzky collection. I'm slowly putting them all in a small top loader binder. You don't always have to buy a big one with 9 sheets or 9 slots. You can buy ones with just 4. And I find those little guys really awesome for player collect, team collect. Anything you want. I have all my color variants from Parker's Champions. 1 to 350. I think that's what it was. Yeah. 1 to 300, 1 to 325. Sorry. And they fit in those as well. So I just find they organize a lot nicer, and a lot of variety, and you have a lot of freedom to do as you please.
Louis, anything to add?
I just have PC cards in one. It's split. I actually want to bring them down to your smaller ones like you got, Phil.
Okay.
And just do individuals. Like right now in one of them, I got all my better, we'll say, Broders and Madanos in one big one. But I could take that down into the small ones.
Yeah, I like the small ones more, Louis. I don't know. I dumbed some of mine down, and I had like my old Oilers and McDavid with Gretzky. I'm like, nah, they deserve their own, and I put them in smaller ones. I like it a lot better.
Yeah. And then in another one, I just have all Wild North Stars patches or autos in another.
All right.
Discord Vintage Mark. So Mark sent an article about innovation he hadn't seen before.
Heck, here.
Oh, we got about innovation that he hadn't seen before. And it's about like goalie helmets that are using temperature sensitive paint on them. Cool. So like when they get cold, they change color. And he's wondering, like, could trading cards consider like the same sort of technology. It's kind of funny. It made me think of like going back to our youth, right? Were you guys part of the whole Genera hypercolor phase
Oh
where
yeah,
the
Mhm.
sweatshirts that
yeah.
changed color?
That was
Yeah, it made
cool.
me think of that. I think, trying any new technology in cards is cool.
Mood
And so
rings. Remember mood
mood
rings?
rings, yeah. So
Every
Mark,
girl
I'm
in my high school
totally on
had that.
board
Oh my
Mine
god,
was
I'm so
mine was
angry right
always
now.
black.
because your soul's black.
Yeah, I saw her. She cut her arm and Ice Cube popped out. Oh my god.
All right. So the next one I have is Cigar Scott. Is that you too? Did we
Yeah,
forget
buddy.
another one?
Nope.
Okay. Didn't Upper Deck have a breakers program at some point before they redid their website this past summer? They had a link to their authorized group breakers page. Do you have any idea what went away? And Scott sent the link, and it was an article from 2013. So I just think that was such a different hobby back then. Who knows? I know that there are some breaking provisions in the certified diamond dealer agreement, but I have no idea, Scott, like what happened to a specific policy or specific um, program for breakers. Anything to add, or we're
I
ready to
got
move on?
nothing.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any. No.
Discord, 2-cent hockey cards. With the release of Upper Deck PWHL set, do you think we'll see a bump in interest in the women's cards that were part of the 97-98 UD Collector's Choice set? There were 20 cards included, numbers 276 to 295, rookie cards of Angela James, Haley Wickenheiser, is that how you say her name? Geraldine
Wickenheiser, yeah.
Heaney,
Sorry.
and Danielle Goyette, who are all now in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I don't know. I kind of, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in my mind with the PWHL. It's off to a fantastic start. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of momentum. I sincerely
It
hope
would-
it continues, but
It would have to be up to the PWHL to market that history
Yeah.
very respectfully and kindly. My Ottawa Senators did, and it was a beautiful campaign. And now we have a street called Cyclone Taylor, right? And we have all the old banners, Frank Finnegan. We honor and respect the history. I hope the PWHL does that for their women's league from the previous professional leagues. And there's been quite a few women professional leagues that have folded. But like Josh said, the PWHL is just hammering it out well, really good. Hopefully they can ride that momentum. And I think it would be up to them to look back to the Hockey Hall of Fame women and honor them correctly.
I think the best thing that could happen for the PWHL would be for the NHL to acquire it, and for the NHL to treat it like the NBA treated the WNBA, where they said, we'll lose money for 20 years, but we're going to commit to making this happen. And they made the WNBA a pretty viable sport and a pretty viable league now.
That
And
still
I
doesn't
think
make money.
Yeah, do they not make money?
No, they don't make money, Josh. And I don't think the NHL and the NBA very different. I don't think
Sure.
the NHL has the money to say. And if they do, great, I would agree with you. But if it takes away from my product, no. Sorry. You got to be self-sustainable.
What do you think, Louis?
I don't think it's going to help out those 97, 98 collector choice sets one bit. I think you are still going to get, let's take us gentlemen out of the equation here and think of the young youth playing hockey and stuff and ones that just got out. I think they're still going to chase, if they choose to do so, after these new PWHL cards and not look back.
Well, Haley Wickenheiser is like a household name in Canada. I mean, she's awesome. She's great for the sport. I want her to be honored. I'd love it to. But it doesn't make sense to me if the NHL would do things like that. I mean, yes and no, but if there's a real professional women's hockey league now, that's where you do it. And they could do it beautifully. They could have like a 20-minute tribute to her and to all these ladies, all these Hall of Famer women who are pillar pieces in getting this going. And
I'm 100% with you on doing all that. I see nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's going to help any of the older.
They'd have to directly address it. Right?
I don't see everybody rushing out now to be like, oh my gosh, I got to get that 97, 98 collector's choice set now.
Yeah, a lot of it, like to Phil's point, I think too, Louis, is education. You're right. There's probably under those names are not known in the US, of course, at all. I mean, it's more of a provincial thing in Canada, probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Discord, JT Hockey. Why is 2324 O-Pee-Chee paper still $170 on David Adams? Cheaper 2324 products you can buy from there are Ice, Credentials, Extended, Allure, Parker's Champions, Clear Cut, Artifacts, SPX, Metal, Synergy, and Ultimate. Make it make sense. It does not make sense. It's like we probably need to do an investigation on this. It's like an unsolved hobby mystery, right? Because there's no sensible reason why
they probably paid, like, maybe their cost is 165 and they're like, no, I'm not losing out on it.
It sucks though. I hate it. I wish it was cheaper, and it makes me really excited about 2425 OPG because we basically missed opening it last year. It's too expensive.
Yep.
Instagram, Card Professor 7. From your discussion on episode 259, which was last show on Gold Outburst, in a recent Slab Trucks auction, the following card sold for 184 US. He wants our thoughts. It was a Upper Deck Series 1 Frank Vetrano Gold Outburst 101. So it was at high, low, or medium price. And I don't know. I mean, it's probably medium, I would say. But again, what's cool about this whole scenario is it's made a base card matter. Right here, you have a Frank Vetrano base card from Series 1 that's selling for, it's a parallel, I get it, but selling for $184. And even going back to the old configuration, whether it was his exclusives or high gloss, that it wasn't going for $184.
Nope.
So I don't know how to judge that $184 price. I mean, you guys might, but I think this whole thing is pretty awesome.
I agree with you, Josh, and I agree with you, Louis. I love it all. I love this whole outburst thing. Big grand slam, like we said.
Instagram, the ultimate playmaker. Do you guys display your cards on the wall? If so, what do you suggest? Louis?
It's not up on the wall yet because behind me, my backdrop is a complete crap show. We'll get her dressed up here at some point, and I might put this up, but I just did this with my stature Madonnas, but that's the only way I really hang anything. You can, go to your craft store. Usually you'll find them at the dang craft stores, believe it or not, but those 5, 10, 15, 20 card holder deals you can put on your wall, and they're all in those individual little, I did that for a little bit, but I don't know. I just thought it looked kind of tacky, but this looks good. This is what I plan on putting up. So there's an idea. They're on eBay. You can find them there.
Phil?
I'm pretty picky and I'm a pretty big snob about things. What Louis has here is a beautiful setup, but I want to take my cards off the wall, play with them, put them back. I haven't found something that would suit my unstable needs.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing about this. It's like, okay, well, if I go to the expo, then I want to bring them with. Now I got to take them out.
Babe, can you get the ladder and my hammer? Come on.
Discord, California Dave. So when I was a teenager, I put my baseball cards in one of those plastic folders, and 30 years later, when I pulled them out, they were basically ruined. I'm so glad penny sleeves, top loaders, and one touches were invented. Just curious about when that happened. So I did a little bit of research. I didn't look at one touches, but what I did find is I think penny sleeves were introduced in the early to mid 1980s. So they were probably around. You just weren't aware of them back then, Dave. And top loaders, it said, were the mid to late 1990s when those became a thing.
Cool.
There we go. Instagram, JMA 10780. Do you value auto cards from playing years above auto cards from post-retirement for Legends? Phil?
I actually never thought of that. That's a great question, JMA 10780. I definitely would rather a more flowy, loopy, defined auto. So when the meat vehicle gets a lot older, like we'll say Gordie Howe or Bobby Hull, and they get a little shaky, it's still them. But I would much prefer a smooth, nice, circular, loopy auto from when they were more agile. Is that a better word to say? Yeah.
I actually took a different perspective on this, or maybe saw the question a little bit differently. I do find a ton of value on auto cards from playing years. And what it made me think of Phil and Louis is like the Wayne Gretzky sign of the times from I think 96 or 97. So here's a pack pulled card autographed by Wayne Gretzky while he was in his playing career.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I think that, to me at least, I don't know how the hobby sees it, is more valuable than a synergy auto from last, that's 20 years, 25 years after you retired.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like this
100%
card
agree.
I never
Okay.
thought of that. That's pretty smart, Josh. I think I agree with you. Yeah. Why did you
Yeah,
stop me when I was answering the question? Be like, Phil, that's not what he meant. Or maybe he
No,
did.
I know. I don't think you answered the wrong way. You just took the question a little bit. You interpreted it a little bit differently.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks, buddy.
Instagram, Salty Schmike has 2 questions. About a week ago, the president of Upper Deck, Jason Mashara, posted on LinkedIn about slabbing cards, quote unquote. It gave me a thought, which may have already been discussed on the podcast. Would there be interest in the hobby to get a card slabbed but not graded, essentially protected in a slab like PSA back at SGC, but not given a grade or authentication label? If this were a lower cost option, just a protective case, essentially, would there be interest?
Is this a joke?
No, yeah,
I feel
no.
like this is what I
Louis sent
texted
us.
you. Oh my.
Was
Okay,
it-
so good listener. I texted the boys a few days ago. This like almost verbatim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Southie Schmike. That looks like we think the same.
Mhm.
So yes, I think people would, and I think there'd be a market for that. Why? What are you thinking, Schmike? I say yes. I do think there would be a market. You just have to be cheap, and it'd be volume based because there's no labor,
Yeah.
right? You're not doing
Yeah.
labor really.
No technical expertise. You're just not wrecking the
Yeah.
card while you slab it. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Oh,
Louis?
I'm sure lots of people think they'd be offering technical. Just slap my card, please.
I'm gonna say yes. I think this
Okay.
would be awesome, but I hate having so many cards in different size things. Top loader's one height, one width.
Mm-hmm.
One touch is top, its own size. Graded slabs its own, and some of those are different. If you could slab, we'll call it a slab still. You could slab a card in something the size of a top loader, or maybe push it to a one touch. That would be sweet. I don't care. I don't need the label, but I'd be 100% on board for something like that.
What if there's like a standard like holder dimension that all the grading companies agreed to, that the
They never
holder will
will.
be? I know. That would be nice.
They never would.
You
It'd be
lost
great if
me,
they
yeah.
did, but yeah.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I'm not going to beat that up.
Is there a plan to release an album of the podcast intro music?
Ah, there you go. See?
You think we need to make some music videos, huh, Phil?
We need to make some music videos, Josh and Louis. Yes, kids, we used to have videos to our music. Video did not kill the radio star.
All right, I'm going
Mhm.
to challenge you, Phil. Take one
What?
of our songs and make it your.
Oh,
Make a
dude,
music
come
video.
on. I got to make my video I got to make my video about photography on base cards soon. No, I
You have
got
time. It
I
doesn't
want to
have
do little commercials and funny thing. No, I want to do
Yeah.
like 5-10 minute little videos. I don't have time to do rap videos. Well, maybe I do. We'll see.
All right.
I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat. Facebook, Andrew Shee. Let's address the elephant in the room. Why are Rantanen's cards underrated, and will the trade to Carolina do anything? Doubtful. What teams would Rantanen have to sign with in the summer for his cards to move upward?
Doesn't matter.
Montreal Canadiens. It's your only hope, bud.
I hate to feel like overly simplistic in my answer to, but more and more I just think players have hype or they don't, and I have no idea why some players have hype and others don't. It's like a collective sort of
It's a vibe.
vibe.
It's a vibe.
Rantanen's awesome, and he should have, but he doesn't. Discord, Mavdog Nav 78. Are there any analytics like Corsi, relative percentage, goals above replacement, point share, high danger save percentage that would be useful in identifying undervalued players in the hobby? I'm going to give the same answer I just gave. They probably help separate players, but the most important hobby metric is hype.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love
I got it.
to find a psychologist, like a
Yeah.
professor that could explain hype to us,
Yeah, we need.
like in a scientific way. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That's where we could get a girl co-host. There's lots of women therapists that know lots about hockey. That we need a woman's touch in our show.
Okay.
Oh, whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Discord, old school hockey cards. Do you think if you were to submit a tag 10 through PSA crossover service, is there any reason the tag card would not get a PSA 10? And if so, what could the reason possibly given tag? What could the reason possibly be given? Tag is a service that adheres to non-subjective grading used by technology. Yeah, or how would you justify that? I think is what he's saying.
I'm just going to go short and sweet and not get too detailed, but yes, it's still subjective. Who knows how a PSA guy's feeling that day, but I would think with what Tag's using and what they're doing, that card should still receive a 10 from PSA.
I have a statement to your question.
Okay.
I would 100% lower any expectations that a PSA 10 is going to be a tag 10 or a tag 5. Like you can gauge it a little bit, I guess, but I firmly believe there will be a time, maybe soon, maybe not. A grading reckoning will come down. Maybe it'll be tag, maybe it won't. But when objective computer grading happens in a rate that equals PSA's infrastructure, watch out. I want it to be tag. I love tag. I love the slabs. As a business owner myself, on a very small scale, you can plan and whiteboard all you want, but when the machine starts going, when the doors open of business, unforeseen issues will happen. And I think something like that has happened with tag. I mean, nobody knows. No one has any idea. But you don't have that superior product. And just, I think they're just figuring it out and trying to, first, it takes 5 years in business, right? To really kick its butt, 5 to 7 years. So let's give them some chance. I think once they figure it out and start pumping out grades that are always the same, I'll repeat that, guys. You can send in the same card 1,000 times. It's going to get the exact same grade because it's objective grading. You're telling me that wouldn't change everything? That'll change everything in the game. 100%.
Has anyone tested that?
No, I think that'd be great to do, but I don't.
Sending the same card in the tag?
Yeah, I love tag too, but we make a lot of assumptions about tag, right? That haven't been verified. Like that if you took a card 10 times, that it would come back with the same grade.
Well, right? I don't know about 10 times, but I know somebody got a 9 or an 8 on a tag card, cracked it out of the slab, sent it back in, and the computer recognized the card and said, this has already been graded. Here's the grade it was given. Here's the number.
Get out. No way. No way that happened. If that happened.
Well, sure. It's like if every card would have like a fingerprint based on its flaws. You could, so that would be smart. The other thing that, again, I'm not trying to be anti-tag because I actually like tag a lot, is you'd have to find some way, I think, to like audit their grading methodology to make sure that you think that when they give a 10 that it really is a 10, right?
But they give you a detailed report.
But consistency and quality are one thing. It's like could there be a flaw in the programming of how they grade a card?
Okay,
right. And I'm just saying that you
need not
that you
a third party
that they're doing an audit, third party audit of some sort. But I think though the overall question though, Phil, was if you have a tag 10 and you cracked it and you sent it to PSA, what percentage of time do you think that it would get the PSA 10 grade?
Oh, 50-50. You don't know. No one knows the answer.
Because it's subjective grading. So.
Yeah. It's two totally different things. It's not a Pepsi Coke thing. It's a pop or lemonade. Like it's a different thing, man.
All right. Instagram, MHB hockey cards. What's going on with PWHL set? Can't find boxes anywhere. Parallels are going for crazy prices. Breakers prices skyrocketed and now they're all out. Also, do y'all think there will be a retail release as well? I haven't heard anything about a retail release. Here's what I would assume, guys, is that probably pretty smartly, being a brand new set, I'm guessing Upper Deck didn't print a ton of it, right? Yeah. And you got to, anytime you're trying something new, you test it. And so I'm guessing that demand was higher than maybe they forecasted and they sold out right away. And that's not a bad thing. If you're a business, it creates more excitement for Yeah, that's what I would think. Do you guys have any other?
Well, the can't find the boxes anywhere. We talked to one of our friends at the card show that he actually works at our local LCS, and this first round he only got 7 boxes.
Yeah,
Cases or boxes?
I
boxes. I think.
swear he said
Whoa.
boxes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
something like that. So I don't think there's a ton of it out there. Okay, Instagram drop the puck cards. Yes, we end with 2 questions for Phil. If Phil had the magical power to end Ovechkin's career when he scores 890 goals, would he do it? Wow.
So first of all, I'm insulted. You would think I would say yes. Second of all, never in a million years, ever, no. This is a fabricated hill that Josh
Is your
Louis
boy?
created.
No, this is your boy Seth. He's doing you dirty.
I know who it is. I know
I'm
it.
asking you the question that it was written, Phil.
I said
Oh.
the hill of Phil, not think. Just forget it. Just okay. Next
The hill
question.
of Phil? What's the hill of Phil? If Phil
Hill of
was the
Phil.
GM of the Senators and the Colorado GM said he would trade Rantanen for Brady Tkachuk, straight up, would he do it?
Never in a billion years.
Wow.
No, I
You like all the structure, the what was
I like Brady Tkachuk as my captain, and as soon as he gets loyal soldiers, things will, and maybe they're already there. They just need to finish puberty. I don't know.
okay.
So you're really saying you wouldn't go Tanya Harding on Ovechkin, huh?
Oh, I love Tanya Harding. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Absolutely not. I would hurt if I saw someone going to take Ovechkin out. I would throat punch them as fast as I could. Yeah.
Boy.
Okay. We're at personal pickups. Phil, you got anything to share?
Oh, I do. Yes.
Oh, he's got a laundry.
Sorry,
list
Louis.
here.
I know. It's so exciting. Well, if you watch Friday Nights with Phil, you know my cards. Okay. So, listen, we're almost done. Look at this beautiful 23-24 O-Pee-Chee Platinum.
Yeah.
I love this card. This card cost me over $100, and I get Marshmallow Face Crosby. Right? I'm going to poop myself. Hurry up. Let the whistle blow. I got to go to the bathroom.
Funny.
It's anyway. So that's one of my pickups. Love this card regardless. I just don't look at his face.
Is that why you sent me the back?
Yes.
Close-
The reason I sent the back, look at this is what I'm talking about. This is a premium short print, heavily wanted, mediumly wanted card. I wanted it.
Mhm.
You're telling me that do I not have a little bit of a case there? This isn't a base card. This is a short print. This is the NHL logo behind one of the greatest players of all time. And we get Marshmallow Crosby. All right, next one.
Look at
Yeah.
the happy faces.
Beautiful 2002 and 3 tops. Just two one very famous, both mediumly famous rookie cards. And they're refractors, and I love them. Yeah,
Look great.
that's it. They weren't that expensive. There's some other ones of guys. Yeah, my VIP black, Connor McDavid. So if you want to look at that as well, look at his face. That's another card that was a bit cheaper. They're not a short print, I think, these ones. Or is
Mhm.
this the
Those are EPAC exclusives.
Oh, okay, yeah. So these don't seem to be as rare for some reason. It was a lot cheaper than the others.
And this next one made me chuckle when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
You're preparing for something, or something accidentally happened because the main.
Oh, I know. I'll tell you. I got a good story. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah. So, so it's right here. Look, I'm scared I think I found a new way.
What did you do?
I took a train nail and I hit it right. Well, you can see right there in the center. And then I did it on the back. Guys, look. This might be a new way. So anyways, stay tuned for the video. Stay tuned for the video.
Oh my God.
You're going to pull it apart and you're going to pull it corner down.
Stop. Well, I didn't pull it apart. I was very careful. I'm going to do it on the video. It's okay. I got it back.
Yeah, great. I need more commercial information. So
maybe I'm the first guy who thought of this. All I did was went ping and it just went crack right down the middle.
All right. You got one more, Buckwheat.
I'm like a genius, a super genius.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's my bad boy. And that's my favorite card ever. I can't even crack it out of the slab yet. I'm so scared. I just love it. I love these little KSA slabs. Yeah, I know it looks like a rough cut. It's not. It's just the light between the red and the card.
Yeah.
Or the black in the card. But this is like I'm not gonna lie. I brought it to bed last night. I put on my dresser. Like I love this card. It made me so happy when I woke up and remembered I had it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a 2008 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky. Is it a
Rainbow
foil?
And I need somebody listening, because there definitely is a few people listening that know probably more about that set than I do. Are the other 3 Wayne variants, do they have a rainbow? I have never seen one for sale ever. I've only seen this one for sale, and that's the card in the 1-800 set. I don't know if the I would assume they do, because they're numbered. I've just never seen any. How can there be 300 of these cards and never seen any? I don't know. Maybe. So those are my pickups.
Very good.
Louis.
Yeah. Had a couple. Picked one up yesterday at the card show, which would be the 90-91 O-Pee-Chee Premier Sergei Fedorov rookie.
Blue Jacket
one
Legend.
of those. Just had to have it.
Blue Jacket Legend, yeah.
Blue Jacket Legend.
Yeah. Need it. Got it. Have it. Love it. And then somebody on the show twisted my arm and said, "You just have to have this card." So what do?
It could be.
I go out and buy an 1819 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Retro Rainbow Blue Nico Hischier out of 149.
Josh,
that was peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
It's a beautiful card.
That's a great card. You probably should have bought that. Yeah,
I did.
Good.
Okay.
Josh.
Good job, Louis.
Thanks.
I got a few. So I got a 2021-22 O-Pee-Chee Platinum OV Retro Blue Rainbow out of 199.
Nice.
Then I got a 1819 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Ovechkin, same one Louis just showed, but the OV Blue Rainbow out of 149. I picked up another 2021 Fleer Ultra OV Gold Medallions out of 20.
Good
or
call.
200.
Good call, Joshy Poo.
What do you think his next card is, Phil?
Probably
And
another.
then another
medallion.
21 Fleer Ultra Quinn Hughes. This one was I won this $4 on an eBay auction. It's the Titian achievement
for a
out of
Kappa.
75. Yeah.
Nice.
You know, again, this is the EPAC one, and so I don't think they're as desirable. That's probably why it's $4.
Okay.
And then I got a big one. I'm very excited about 2017-18.
Beautiful.
G Platinum Patrick Waugh, Seismic Gold.
Oh no! I thought you were going to say Yellow Tracks. I'm like, oh, come on. No, nice. I can't tell them those years. That's great.
And again, this is the year that has the legends in it, and they're all-star jerseys. So
nice.
Big fan of that. Well, boys, this is a long show. Holy crap!
That must be the longest one. Yeah, I dribbled a little bit.
If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description. Instagram, TikTok profiles. You can search for us on the Patreon website, patreon.com. Go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. Click on the Become a Patron link. Yeah.
You look a little flush in the face, Josh.
I gotta
we've been over 3 hours just nonstop. Yeah,
breathe.
Okay. Well, hey.
Yeah.
Follow us on social media. That's fun. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures LLC. Louis, go ahead, take us out.
Bye.
I hit the wrong one.
It's the Gongshow. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gongshow Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gongshow. Let's go, let's go.